What the
5.
fuck is Paladin Dong?
Rolling 5.
He rolled 5. 5 is 5. Anyway,
Baba is you.
how's everybody doing tonight?
Doing decently enough.
I can't believe Paladin Dong.
I'm going to kill myself.
How could Paladin Dong roll 5?
Wait, no, even if you kill yourself, I still have... Darius has 5 charisma, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's what it is!
Laura.
That's what it is!
Oh, damn.
That's just half our party.
So true.
Yeah, we are a uniquely charismatic party.
Yeah.
You wouldn't expect it, but unfortunately, the stats don't lie.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, there's a difference between 5 charisma and 5 charisma.
So true.
Yeah, the
Like
difference
me
is
as a
5
player,
charisma.
I have 5 charisma. Lorik as a character has 5 charisma.
No, I mean even like a charisma score of 20. The difference between a charisma score of 20 and having a charisma of 20.
Yeah.
Let's see, what the fuck are you talking about?
No. You see, the imperative word was score.
True.
There's a difference
Are we
between
live, by the
understanding
way?
what I'm saying and not understanding what I'm saying. Let's go
Yeah.
anyways.
We live?
There's two. Yes.
Wow.
I'm just going to die.
Good context.
Touch it.
Good.
Just because I have a plus 17 to deception doesn't mean I won't be rolling d4s.
So true.
Oh, come on. We both know you rolled
Yep,
d5s.
This is like Evan's
it was a
rapier.
D8.
It's like every time Evan like rolls his weapon, it has like a different die modifier for some reason.
Oh yeah, speaking of, because we are level 18, it should be 96 by default, with a 96 extra from critting.
Interesting.
96 is a
A
lot.
spoonful.
96? Yeah, that's pretty high.
Don't worry, I got it figured out.
Okay,
Yo,
I just
the
want to make sure
blues-
since we've had problems with that in the past.
I kept up this time.
Okay, good.
What? You can't roll -1. What dice would you throw for that? Would you roll the... Or the...
I think he'd roll two
All right,
negative
let's,
1 dice, and then take this. He'd roll 2 square. He'd roll 2 eye dice, and multiply them together.
Mm-hmm.
That's so him. Are we done clowning around,
Hopefully.
or must
I'm
I
good.
corral cats?
We good. We vibe.
I'm good. I'm fine. I'm okay.
We are vine booming. The party has entered the city of Dhuugaan. The pirate party that has somewhat sort of pledged allegiance to you in the complicated situation of things has began filling out the general administrative burden that is a customary between traveling to different kingdoms and, well, the savage kingdoms. And part of it, the first things that strike you as you enter the city, is the sheer amount of industry and simply going about that happens. Many of the 2 other cities that you guys have visited in your times in the Savage Kingdoms, for everyone who's not Darius, most of them have been fairly slow, or at least easygoing, with life moving along at a pace that is not too dissimilar to that in the Empire. But here, almost everything is going. There are things to be done, places to go, pieces to be made, items to be shipped. It's a city of business, of speed, of efficiency. And with that in mind, it becomes quite unusual as you progress your way through, starting to get lay of the city, that Darius is drawing quite a bit of stray eyes. Anybody who wants to weigh in can note on that, but just almost everywhere you go, somebody somewhere ends up staring at Darius.
Rifter
Often,
is...
Sometimes they'll look away if somebody starts to notice, but go ahead.
Rifter would draw attention to this, as he's usually pretty perceptive. He's gonna like elbow Darius, and he's gonna go, "Oi, lad, Why is everyone giving you the eye?
I wish I could tell you that myself. UNT aren't uncommon here. Speaking of, have I seen any UNT recently?
You have not. And especially since you would know that UNT are common here, and you're about an hour in the city so far, there hasn't been a single one that you've seen.
That's
Which, yes, would strike you as very unusual, if not exceptionally so.
That's yeah. I know that you probably haven't been looking out for it, but have any of you seen any UNT other than me?
Well, actually, yeah, I've been looking around just because, that, and I haven't seen any myself.
Can't say I've been keeping too close an eye on it, but I
Have you
haven't
seen
any
anything
either.
that looks like humans to begin with? Because UNT can vary in their obviousness.
DM, would I have seen something that
Not
looks
really,
to be...
no.
Okay. And Lifter shakes his head.
So
Mostly
true.
been hobgoblins.
What was it?
I would assume that was Rifter's phone.
Yeah.
Yo, Rifter's got a
break
phone?
dancing.
Yo, Rifter got the Glock.
Rifter's
Rifter got
jailbreaking
the
his iPhone real
phone.
quick.
Rifter about to assassinate a Volsham. Death by ringtone.
Okay.
So,
Then... Yeah.
The city
No,
has
you
been
go ahead.
completely absent of Yuan-Ti, or quite frankly anyone with that sort of humanoid visage. Schoenhof is getting a few abnormal peaks as well, but people here are also generally well accustomed to being able to distinguish a Yuan-Ti, so his humanoid features are a little bit less eye-drawing.
we'll have to ask around about it, I assume. I don't know why there's been nobody here, and the way they're avoiding it seems odd.
Do you think
Maybe
maybe
we can
Talk
find
to
out.
us.
Maybe we
What'd
can
you say,
find out at the
Schoenhof?
end.
Hopefully
I
they'll talk
agree.
to us instead of just eyeing us from a distance.
That's not how that works around here, unfortunately. People are moving, things are happening. You don't stop and talk to people unless there's a reason to.
Honestly, this place feels even faster paced than home.
It definitely is, especially when you get into the more nitty-gritty of things. It was odd getting used to not having this level of bustle, or at least being adjacent to this level of bustle when I moved originally to the Empire.
Yeah, and now we're back. So,
Just
get
watch
antiquated.
Watch where you're walking, there are pickpockets. Watch where you're stepping, there are scam artists. I assume you know all of this. You're all well accustomed to it, but basic things. People will try to abuse how much it moves. People will try and abuse your interest.
Mr. DM, I as a player, I'm assuming that this exists, but I'm going to clarify. Is there something akin to like a guard or any sort of like? I mean, obviously, I'm sure there's a police force, but anyone that I would be comfortable talking to.
It is a city comprised mostly of individual either changing mercenaries or personal retinue guards. So
Okay.
while any individual is like, if there's simply a mugging on the street, there's a variety of different groups to be had. If it's a more complicated dispute, it is one to be had in courts or in the personal payments for mercenaries.
I see. Okay. In that case, I do not know if I should talk to them about the Yuan T situation then.
I agree with the thing Lorik said. I think we should head to a tavern, somewhere that's away from where people are moving and doing things. People are not likely to accept any interactions while they're in the middle of things.
And maybe from there we can gather some information about how to navigate this place from.
In my experience, men typically have looser lips when a few drinks are in them, so this bodes well.
Fair enough.
what I remember, the last time we went into a bar to get information, it went swell. So I think
Oh my.
this is another great
Oh
idea.
yeah, I
We
agree.
are going to relax on our fronts and our faces. We are going to go in. We're asking questions directly. We don't need to go crazy with it.
Alright, we can just
That does also sound good.
ask them about the city in general and see what we can find. After all, we're new in town, don't have much experience with the city, except maybe you, Darius. And
You give a light nod.
being new here, finding more out about the city would do us well. And I'm sure anyone we ask would understand that.
Here especially, please make sure any and all of your crests are hidden entirely.
Absolutely.
All right.
Speaking of crests, as the party heads their way out and attempts to find a bar, the first one is, I won't say hostile to the party's presence, but there's a very quick moment of displeasure as they attempt to, start getting information. And the lack of the party's presence for having any of the court scripts or any even kingdom's currency is starting to become quite a problem.
Of course. Not used to having to deal with the
Right.
currency exchanging
Currency
myself.
differences. Do you know where we could go to maybe get our currency changed, see if there's any transmuters or something of the sort we can... I assume that the...
There
think that
might be, but it
mu-
also probably wouldn't be worth it for anything beyond like the slightest amounts because it would be pretty atrocious.
Yeah, the exchange rate would be kind of awful.
It's not going to be. No, we shouldn't. I would just say, for now, let's move on to another area. Clearly, things aren't going well super here, so
The thing they mentioned about the court script sounds at least promising if we can...
we'll keep an eye out for it. But I very much do not want to get involved with bureaucracy here. Not again.
Fair enough.
As you move on to the next one, it's can you go ahead and give me a performance? Somebody give me a performance.
I've got a pretty good performance. I have to just get back to my computer.
I have a 3.
Yeah,
Alright.
Have a 11.
Oh,
But I
is
also
a
have various
performance.
luck, so yeah.
Dude, come
Yeah.
on. No, a 7 is not bad. Anyway,
Not in this circumstance.
while
It's pretty
this one
eh.
isn't as amenable, at least you're able to pick up a little bit. Like one of the people is less on a rush to get you out since it's a little bit slow over location, and they give you a bit of a hint in that not really meaning to. Man, another person without another northerner without any other proper means to it. Just run. There's one of the bars like 6 blocks down that's actually kind of handle you. Just get out of here before you run anybody else out.
Nods and just turns around. Doesn't want to waste any time.
So, it seems that their system is at least somewhat divorced from the North.
Entirely.
Darius, do you need the recap on Savage Kingdom stuff?
For this area, yes.
Okay. So, the big thing about Savage Kingdoms is that it is, in fact, kingdoms. The central
Yeah.
authority of Grosh, and by consequence, like the quote-unquote emperor of the Savage Kingdoms, is a much looser feudalistic structure
Mhm.
in that all of the kingdoms really are much more autonomous regions, since it is also a drastically vaster area. And
So this
as
is
a
like its own fiefdom.
right, a lot of the like the 5 courts here practically act as like just about the highest like authority in the city and the nearby like territory, with the only things that would be like require higher up complications is if there's some drastic breach of like countrywide policy or like extradition when it comes to crimes that have been committed here on other citizens of the empire. Like, one thing that you'd be particularly well aware of is that even though abduction is totally legal around like where a lot of Yuan-Ti are, it's kind of not looked upon very well in other places. So there's been a lot of scuffles about it.
No way.
It's like,
Hey, no
listen, I know baby natching might be fine down there, but here we've got rules. You got to give him back. Well, you see, about that.
Well, I mean, I can give a quarter of it back. That's the best I can do.
Making an eighth a week for 3 weeks.
Wait a minute.
An eighth per week for 2 weeks, and I'll give you an additional half of an eighth now.
All right, deal.
The fuck am I listening to?
Is this what thieves
Yuan-Ti
camp sounds like?
negotiation. Yuan-Thieves can't.
The party pushes their way down through the city. It's getting a little bit more slummy, not substantially so, but the buzz of industry is replaced a little bit with less of the work hard, more of the play hard. And eventually they come upon themselves to a tavern.
Well, third time's the charm.
Of notable scene in front of you is quite a few drunkards splayed about, many of them conversing with each other, and 2 individuals who are not the barkeep holding themselves up particularly well. A hobgoblin woman in one of the northern seats, and a lizard folk, seemingly teller on the right side, one clad with many journals and the wear of dust on their face.
All right. I say we fan out. I know normally I do the questioning, but with me being the main, I'll hang back and listen.
Already on it. Rifter shuffles his hands together as he approaches what this is a Kenku, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Kenku and a kobold.
Rifter's gonna go make a friend.
No,
I don't think it's a kobold.
That's a lizard folk.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Darius is going to stay generally in earshot so that he's paying attention to it, but like not going crazy, like getting close.
Is Rifter
Mostly
sneaking
like
up on the other Kenku or just kind of going by them?
Casually sitting down, sitting to the side, and he in I believe it's Orin. The Kenku language. He's gonna basically say, "Hey, what's up, cuz?
Hey, friend."
Yeah.
No, that's him. Hey, friend.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So my friend over there.
Long time no see.
Yeah, it's been so long since I've seen you, guy. Pal.
You look different. It's better on you.
Oh,
their head woozes around, their beak pecks on the table for a moment, and it jolts them a little bit more awake because they are pretty decently drunk.
I'm going to attempt to use my scallywag swashbuckling feature that I never get to use, panache, to attempt to make the gentleman give me some info.
Sure.
That's a 32.
Which it does in fact not beat. I would be surprised. Especially since I think if it's junk, if it's junk, I would say that it probably has disadvantage on it.
I make up a story. Basically, I'm like, hey, friend. So, do you remember Gary?
Yeah. Oh, Gra, yeah, I remember Gra.
Yeah. He tells me that we just haven't been seeing as much of the snaky boys. You mind explaining to me why that is? I'm a bit out of the loop. I've been off at sea for a while.
Right, with you. Yeah, you and yeah, they all just started. They just walked, man. They just walking. They like to walk, don't you know? Like when you had that one guy walk the plank. It was like that, but like not on a plank. It was just like walking.
Oh, so they left town. Any reason why? I can't think. I can't possibly know.
Me neither. But this, and he points over to the guy across from him. He's been all over the place. He's been telling me great stories.
I will move to pass. And when he says guy over there, is he referred to the lizard man?
Yeah.
Okay.
He is.
I will move my interrogation to him, and I will forego the spotlight to anyone who else is, and we can get back to me.
In my case, Lord sits down at his table and kind of just makes sure that he's not interrupting the conversation. But after a while, when he senses a good moment to actually ask himself, he is basically like, "Hey, me and my friends are new to town. We just got here from the north, and I was hoping I might find out a bit more about how this place works, so that we don't make absolute asses of ourselves and
Please,
make things
hon,
worse
no
for
need.
anyone else."
Please, hon, no need to be so formal. Just take a seat. Open talk.
All right,
And then
thank you.
the other one, the lizard folk there. Yeah, like we're on off time. Anything you want, just talk about it.
All right.
What's your woes, friend?
Well, the first thing I wanted to ask was, we tried to head to a couple other taverns before this one, but they said something about court scripts. Do you know anything about that?
Ah, you're a Northman. Got it. That explains the blue. That's a very nice coat, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, never seen a blue lizard folk myself. Is it at all common up there?
Not really, no.
Well, then you're quite a lucky fellow. But to
Well,
answer your question, yeah, you know about the 5 courts or not?
I can't say that I do. This is just a stopover point for me. I'm heading out soon
All right,
anyway.
I'll leave it real simple for you. The town's got 5 courts that play most of the role in the town and the nearby development, and each of them are in charge of their own currency in little bits and ways, and well, ultimately a lot of it's shared together and ultimately managed by the quarter man. Each of them still tries to hold their own bits there. So if you want in on some of it, a lot of the trade in the city goes by that.
All right. Do you mind if I ask about some of the others? I have at least a fair bit of fascination with how bureaucracies work.
No, there's a court of stone out there that if you want, you can go up and they'd talk to you about bureaucracy all day. But as much of an open book as I am, that sounds a little boring for bar talk, don't you think?
Fair enough. Sorry, I just...
You said you're here as a crossover. Where are you going?
I'm heading east with some friends. We were hoping to investigate some rumors that we heard.
Rumors in high demand nowadays. The woman looks over to you. You look a little Beat up. You sure you mind if we get you anything?
Oh, no, I can pay my own way, but thank you.
Can you?
Oh. Oh, shit. Right. Right.
POV, poor Lorik once more.
Lorik gets money. Lorik instantly cannot use money.
Lorik, more like
Right.
Porik.
I
Oh,
forgot North coin. Oh,
She-
still, I wouldn't want to impose.
Then you ain't. She moves over and orders some extra food and sits back down. You wouldn't be.
Oh,
And if you
Thank
say
you.
no at this point, it's rude for a man of your manners.
yeah, my thanks.
The conversation continues casually, and you get some going abouts of the city that if in the future the party needs some, you'll be able to just say, hey, I probably talked about that with them.
Yep.
Awesome.
All right, batch of the four of you at the bar counter.
Okay.
What's y'all's, what are y'all doing? Or are you just or are the blue tiefling adjacent
alcohol.
people just oogling the other blue tiefling?
Buying alcohol.
No,
We're
you're
men
not.
Yeah,
of
with what
respect.
money?
Mine.
Yeah,
What money?
and what money?
You've got lumps of metal, not money.
I'll get back to you.
like so you feel like please change money. We're gonna lose money, right?
Absolutely. I should have asked Jake to procure us some tender before we left. Probably would have been wise.
Hmm. I was
This
just
wasn't
thinking
something I
of
was
buying
thinking about.
some supplies.
We'll be moving out soon enough, so.
Oh. So out of character, did we discuss like in character how long we're staying here?
We were planning on staying for a week, as I recall.
Okay.
Although, if we don't have usable money, that may be
Yeah,
truncated.
there I was gonna say. I mean, if we're gonna stay for a week, we probably need food, right?
Ideally, yes. We can always just go into the wilderness and catch our own food, but
Oh yeah, we could just do that. Like
I don't
when
want to go
when we
too
camp.
hooligan on you.
No, it's okay. I like hooliganing. Yeah. Loose.
Yes. I can hooligan around.
Idea.
Yes.
Where's Rifter? Where's Rifter? I have a brilliant idea.
think
He's
he's
over
over there.
behind us.
Oh, he's making.
I believe he's making this.
We find out. We find out the conversion rate. A good one. And steal people's money, but we put our money into their pocket, so it's like it converts. We're not stealing. We're just forcing them into a favorable exchange for us.
That I don't completely disagree with this.
I mean,
But-
just steal from them at that point, man.
Okay, I mean, if Darius said it, I don't really have a.
Your pockets seem
I
really
don't
heavy,
business.
King.
I mean, Darius is practically begging you to at this point.
No,
I mean.
no. I
He's a
you
local.
don't stop. You
That
don't
is
you
true.
don't understand how things work here. Honest to God, people are used to having their money stolen. What they're not used to is having their money replaced by rocks.
No, we're replacing it
We
with
have good
metal.
things?
Yes, but
Wait, what
once
is?
you have a different type of tender, you then have the responsibility, and you have to schedule moving to another area to convert it, and then you throw a wrench in your schedule, and it's frustrating.
Okay, we find somebody. Seems to
Yes.
have an empty schedule,
Good luck.
and then he turns to Susan and says, "Is there anybody we know around here?"
DM, is there anyone
Looking
we know
around, none of them are people you know.
What about Thieves Guild people? Does it extend over here, or is it too far away?
Thieves guilds are most of the time localized.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
thieves guilds may occasionally work with other thieves guilds in nearby cities or even slightly more distant cities if there is good reason to. But most of the time, bureaucracy just weighs down localization.
Dire, new
Yes.
idea. What if perhaps we start our own thieves guild here?
I
For
mean, you
the
started
hell of
one.
it.
I'm sure you can start another one.
Yes, it's very easy to do. So, and on again the topic of money, if we have any extra things we have, you can create infinite liquid. Perhaps someone here would want, something and a lot of it. You just create infinite of it, and we sell it to them, and we get money
Well,
that way as well.
As Zeus talks about starting up a new thieves guild, the tiefling nearby you just starts pointing and laughing at you, in a very drunk cacophony of laughs.
Wait, how does she hear us? I mean, I assume we talk like somewhat.
Try and keep it on a down low. We're talking
Yeah,
about
you're
11
also-
people.
You're
Yeah.
also literally right next to her.
Hey, we're about 10 feet away, all right? Based on the graph.
That is 5 feet of distance.
Well, but see,
That square is 5 feet.
Dyer is leaning towards me, and I'm 10 feet away. It's like,
Yeah, well, I'm
Fair
leaning.
enough.
I'm
Either
leaning
way, she
towards
has very
you.
good hearing, so she hears you anyway, and she's laughing and starts talking about how you must not have been here when they made the demonstration of the last group.
No, actually,
demonstration.
no.
Mine to share more.
Nah.
All right. Well, that was a great.
You
Is
two
there
really have a
anything
way
you?
with people.
We usually do. Is there anything?
Oh, they put
perhaps-
him. All right. You're too persistent. They put him to the gates.
Was it
Well,
just
that's not-
them organizing that led to this, or
Huh?
was it just them organizing?
No,
that led-
the fucking thieves. They thieved that stole things.
What did they
Oh.
steal? Oh, sorry, Dyer.
No. So,
I
mean,
I
makes
don't
sense,
care
that
what
makes
they
sense.
did. If they got gates, I don't want part of it. You
yeah,
don't
but like, think about
either.
what they did it. No, but think about what they did it though. Like, if it's worth risking it, maybe there's just a lot of thieving to go around.
Not for 10,000 script. If I'm getting gates, I'd rather just run away.
Zeus is going to turn to Darius and go, "Is this a lot of money? Because I've heard of some places where it sounds like a lot of money, but it's not really a lot of money."
Hey, another, and she gets another drink handed to her.
Yes, Zeus, that's a lot of money. That the expression wouldn't exactly work if it wasn't a lot of money.
Well, I don't know. Yeah.
Well, it's
Conversion
just
rates.
He's saying a lot of
That is true. That is true. Let her cook. All right.
question, local, and he the blue tiefling. Are you pissed off?
Yeah, bub.
Are you drunk, or is this like a southern thing?
Oh,
If y'all don't have booze like this up there, I am never going up there.
Actually, the only thing we have is like this thing. We call it a meat juice. It comes out of cows.
Wonderful.
I mean, if you're drunk off of just however, I think you're just a lightweight in trying to.
Darius is like fucking like
Alright,
having a
you
brain
wanna-
aneurysm.
You want to prove how much of a lightweight you're not?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you probably couldn't even pay enough to set up this little competition.
Even with Nam, huh?
I agree with that.
Yeah.
That's true.
Look,
That's well said.
bring us the drinks. We'll prove it to you.
But yeah, don't fucking thieve. You'll get your soul sucked out or whatever it is. Don't do it. Just
That's
Just
the talk
don't.
of a lightweight Dyer. You hear this?
No, actually, no.
Guys,
I
this
actually
might
think
be the only way you get sucked.
No, yeah, I think you made a good point actually. Okay, thank you.
Diane, we could get. I'm going to. Thieves can't very quietly. Diane, we can get drinks
You're
from
gonna
her for free.
remember lean bonus. Lean bonus.
Yeah, lead bonus, 10-foot lead bonus. Die. I hook him under my arm. Die. We can get free drinks from her. We just have to play it
don't
up a
want
little
to.
bit more. Why don't you, Dia? What the fuck?
Who the
Free.
fuck is Jamie, and why are you talking? Oh, that's what. Okay. As he
You
realizes
look
this
at
is
areas
Dave's
and says
tent.
Jamie, obviously.
Jamie, bro.
And,
As time goes on a little bit, go ahead and give me a persuasion real quick.
Which one of us?
Either.
What's your? Well, you know what?
The one
I'll
who's
do it.
persuading her.
I think yours is.
No, you were taunting her. I'm persuading her. I think.
I only have a +1 to charisma, so I'll go.
Alright. At first she's like, "What? I never said anything about that." And then a few seconds go by, and it's like, "But that sounds like fun."
Yeah.
And she starts buying you, the two of you, drinks and talking.
Oh shit.
Rithar,
It's like I didn't even want this. He's like,
you
hell yeah.
move, Rifter.
Yeah.
Yep.
You move over to the other side of the table and you look at the, somewhat in contrast to the rest of the bar, where at least most people are taking it easy, or at least, relaxing. They're sitting up straight, they're eating their meal both with a degree of strength as they tear apart the meat, but also with a little bit of dignity as they're going about it in a very tempered, very direct way. They are in control of their situation, and they look up at you as you sit across. Their eye perplexes for just a moment, but they don't say anything.
I give him a smile, and noticing his different temperament, I say, "You seem a bit on edge, friend."
I'm a little on edge because I've been trying to place each of you since you 6 have come in.
From
Hold
there,
on.
Rifter's... Oh.
No, he says that.
Oh, okay. From there, Rifter's gonna pull out a dagger, and he's gonna twirl it around, and
he puts down one of his things. The Black Death. You're that Sia too, aren't you? Long way.
Damn, Rifter's famous.
Long
Yeah,
way.
son.
Rifter adjusts his cape, and he flaunts it for a bit. And he's like, "Well, I'm glad my reputation precedes me. Yeah, that's who I be. I'm just in town, and friend, since you know of me, you must know that I'm just a nice man, and I do take care of me friends. So, friend, could you illuminate something for me? I have trouble seeing any human-like people or Yuan-Ti who should be around these parts. I was told by my friend over there," and I nod my head towards the other Kenku, "that they all left town. Any particular reason?"
Oh yes, many. And since I wouldn't expect you to know of me, I'll tell you a bit of myself first. I'm a wandering bardsman. It's my job to know people and things and hear things, and as much as I'd be glad to trade out just in mere words, there are much more exciting ways to go about it. I've got plenty of answers to your questions, but wouldn't it be rather boring to have it be a one-way thing? I would suggest a few simple bets where we trade stories with both you and your 5 interesting companions. I'm sure you've got many things to tell.
I sure would. What did you have in mind? I'm new to this kind of game.
He says, Bluegio's something quite popular in the Empire, isn't it? Do you happen to play?
I've played once or twice.
I'm really going to have to start getting more creative one of these days. Well, if you're looking for other things, I've got a few others. Dragon chess, perhaps? That's also rather intriguing.
Let me see. I think I
And of
have...
course, I do intend to have these bets. If you don't win any of these, I won't be speaking. So, I know you're quite good at the whole stabby, but any of your other group members care to participate?
I mean, I think there's one person who I might know is pretty good at playing a game or two, but I'm more of a cards man myself, classic, poker. And I'm gonna like shout to get his attention. I might throw like a wadded up piece of paper at Darius. And I look over to him and I like tap the seat right next to me. And I like signal him to come over.
As you throw the first thing, it hits the hobgoblin between the two of you, and he's like, "What?" And then he just looks at the girl across from him. Listen, you don't do that again. And she's like, "I'll do whatever I want."
Rifter, as that happens, Rifter just kind of cringes, like, "Ooh, that wasn't supposed to happen." But
And then the second one gets his attention.
He's going to get up from his seat and make his way over.
Make his way downtown.
Strutting with his feminine gait.
Talk about a thigh gap.
Jesus Christ.
And he sits down, nods his head at the one across. I assume you found something? As he looks at Rifter.
My friend here seems to know something or two. We're playing a nice little fun game of cards. Thought I might want to divvy you in.
Rifter, you know I don't bet on things.
He's looking Darius up and down. He says, knowing who he's traveling with, I'd have a suspicion, but you don't have a hint of darkness on you right now. You must be someone new to the group.
He looks at Rifter and then look back at him. Do you know us?
Oh, I've heard many things of you. It's not like you're famous or anything, but it's my job to know. I've heard plenty of stories, including in that far-off empire over there.
Then can we join this conversation?
Well,
I mean, you did see Darius.
You saw me
shout
get
off.
up and move over. He sits down. Well, regardless of whether or not you know me, I've been here longer than almost anyone else. So it seems your information isn't fully correct. As he sits down fully.
I suppose if you were... you must have renounced somehow. I see. That explains why you're here and not over there. I see.
Fire also makes his way into the group.
He furrows his brow a little bit.
But that would be telling. That's why... okay. Now it's getting interesting.
I see the game you're playing.
Yeah, this is why I thought you might be a good contestant on this little show.
Well, thank you for calling me over. Sorry to dismiss you so quickly.
It happens.
He's going to look around. Let's say
He
the more
moves
players
over.
scenario,
Come
right?
on, Pecker, Shoofly. And he's like, all right, man. And moves back over to another table.
Aww.
Bird moment.
He's going to get the attention of Struenhof as well as he walks over, kind of pats him on the shoulder. It's an interesting game we're playing over here. Join us. And moves back to the
Just
table.
rolls his eyes and slowly gets up.
You hear the tiefling nearby mumble something about how they're cowards for having left.
Rifter, we got free drinks over there. I brought this one over. Dyer wasn't drinking his.
Ooh, free drinks. How'd you get that?
Well,
Craig just gives Richter his drink. It's like, here, you have this.
They're
Why,
master
because-
gaslighters. That's how. Take it from the master gaslighter.
Lift your tears up a little bit. You do love me.
I got you, man.
Darius, on his way
here's a-
back, does make sure to get Lorik's attention that he is there, just so when he finishes his conversation, he knows that we're all like in the area. But he's not going to interrupt at all.
Yeah, Lorik nods to the others and continues.
So, with the exception of, is that Lorik? I must not assume, but
I mean, who else would be the sixth?
another Domer, perhaps?
Oh, you
He
should
may
know
be
about
busy.
the things we've done more than that to know that we wouldn't just travel with any other Domarev. As he speaks that word specifically lowly.
Please, I'm sure a man of his stature, if he had something to do, could assign you an escort with no problem. But, nonetheless, with his exception, since he's not in the presence, I'd like to formalize our game before we do anything significant about it. It's simply, as we win, we ask the other group a question. And if it's a question that we can't answer to the best of our abilities, it's one that you may ask another one for. No risk in asking a question too ambitious. Are we all in agreement here?
Aye, indeed.
Fine by me.
He looks to the rest of the thing.
Sounds quite fun.
Sure.
Lastly, he looks at Dai.
Sure.
Alright. Each of you feel the twinge of arcane magic pop in as he flicks his fingers. Fantastic, then. It's a deal. And he hands out he starts reaching into his bag of holding and pulling out a few different items and putting them out on the table for anybody to choose a game to play.
Wait, what flick of arcane? What?
He's
After we
making
agree.
all of everybody here has agreed under a very minor oath magic, just to be like, yeah, like whoever wins gets to ask the other person a question and they have to answer truthfully.
Oh, gotcha.
And if they can't answer it, like if it's like, what's 75 million times 22.63 times the square root of I, right? It's like, I don't fucking know. Right? You get to
That is
ask
true.
again.
That is true.
Yeah, that is true. That is a bug.
That is a
Um,
bug. That is a bug.
There's a few games in front of you. Anybody who wants to can take a game and take a chance.
I will play any game that allows me to sleight of hand cheat.
The cheater of the storm.
Can you go ahead and give me an insight real quick?
Sure. Boom, boom, boom. I really hope this guy isn't smart enough to know that I'm gonna cheat.
He seems like the kind of guy who would be very familiar with cheating because this is kind of his shtick.
Okay,
He is very interested in getting information and playing fairly to get it. And so, while you could absolutely, a man of your talent could sneak him, it's also like not just the 5% chance.
I see.
He-
So
he's-
he's gonna
he-
be specifically looking for
He's
it.
pretty sharp and he's very intent on catching cheats.
Okay, well, fuck. That was my whole
My
Yeah,
entire
alright.
plan. I can't
Yeah.
cheat.
I know, dude, I can't cheat. Game sucks.
Just
I guess
blind sense deal the cards.
I guess I'll play something that requires as little thought as possible and the most amount of luck.
All right, go ahead and just roll me a flat D20 then.
Okay, cool. Please, please, please. Hooray!
I
could
should
be
probably.
good.
Was that one public there or not? Because I assume not.
It was.
It was like the one that I rolled.
Oh no, the one you rolled was not.
All right, there you go.
Hooray!
You get to ask him a
Hey.
question.
Go, let's go.
I'm gonna just say we play poker. He had a pair of twos and I had a pair of threes.
No. Poker would
Classic.
absolutely have a modifier to it.
Oh really? Okay. We play. We flip a coin.
Yeah, so true. And he scoffs at it, but he says, "All right, first one's free."
So, you said that there were plenty of reasons. Would there? I guess. Would these be malicious reasons, as in they didn't want to leave? or
Would
did
you
they
mind
leave their own
clarifying a little? Plenty of reasons for what?
for leaving?
For leaving. I'll give you two. The first one is that they already weren't particularly liked in the city in the first place. It's a city that tries to play honestly for most of it. Certainly, we have our fair share of dirty tricks, just like everywhere does, but for the most part, the important part is the product, having something actually happen and get done, and often the Yuan-Ti seem to be much more willing to parasitize. But the other thing is, even the people who had gained some semblance of will, anybody who wasn't completely broken, became broken and just left. Every single one.
I'm sorry. I guess I didn't understand that first part. How are they broken?
Like anybody who hadn't been completely their own person. Like Darius is able to explain like the specific.
Just ask in character, and if like
Okay.
Darius would, or sorry, not Darius, Rifter wouldn't know. Or Darius can explain.
Rifter looks at Darius. He's like, broken? What?
You understand how I now am very much more like a human than I am an animal at this point, correct? You understand this?
Yeah, makes sense.
It wasn't always that way. And it's not always that way for many. There are certain experiences you might have, different things. It's different for every single one of us, but some of us break free from our baser nature and become more. And from what he's saying, it means that even those that had broken free, if they hadn't gone all the way, if they hadn't fully separated themselves, they were unbroken. Or
Any
rather,
not their own sovereign.
I see. This is a bit above my head.
Imagine your people in their entirety pledged themselves to a god, and that god fundamentally changed them entirely. How much control do you think that god would have over those people then?
I guess you're right. Yeah, they probably have quite a bit, considering that's how we lost the old Flappy Flap. So, if I'm understanding correctly, this has something to do with, big man, and he points up to the sky, pulling everyone together. Unless I'm misinterpreting.
I think you're correct, from what I'm hearing. I'll play you next.
All right, go for it. Take
He
your
will
pick.
say, your choice of game.
All right, go ahead and give me an int.
You got it, boss. At this point, Darius isn't particularly interested in winning this round. He's interested in learning, and what he might ask is learning to him.
Oh.
Well,
Yeah.
that's not good.
Stupid.
All right. Is it fair if all of you are playing as a group that I might ask someone else?
I don't see why there's any problem with it.
All right. Rifter, could you mind giving me a first-hand account of your most interesting assassination of one of the Volstrom?
He ponders.
What question?
There I was, smack dab in the middle of their fortress. I came upon the mistress of the manor, as well as her daughter, and it was different than I had anticipated. Not that I expected her, the mistress I mean, to be kind, but more so that I had more sympathy for her offspring than I anticipated. It's a rather strange feeling to murder someone's parent and then make accords with them. It felt how I thought it would, though. It felt good to take back a little part of my life. But in a way, Left me with not an emptiness, but a yearning. What do you do after you accomplish something that took you decades to do? I don't know, and I'm still looking for that answer.
Not too bad. He challenges Zeus to a game.
Oh, all these games are interesting, of course, but what about one of, I don't know, a bit more skill, maybe?
He
Say
looks
we-
over to the dragon chest, unless that's not one you're interested in.
Well, I think maybe of not of physical ability in the strength sense, but maybe a target practice, if you will. I have some knives on me. Perhaps we can do some. Who gets closer to a target?
I'm not well versed, but a game's a game. And he moves up. He casts a small creation spell and puts a little target up on the wall and stands up and moves out.
Big
His eyes light up a bit.
You're free to go first, or whichever you prefer.
There's this. Actually, Zeus, you have to graduate from throwing bullshit school. This is your second to final test. I'll have to come up with a final test.
Okay. Well, I guess there's a lot more riding on the line for this one than I.
Best of 3?
Best of 3.
All right. Would you like to lead?
Sure. I guess why not? What is this going to be? Is this going to be an attack roll?
Sure. I'd say that's most fitting.
Big pog. Awesome.
Oh!
Wait. Question.
he just pogs and he just throws it straight in. Huh?
Yeah.
Maybe they weren't kidding. All right. Well, you've got 2.
That's
Thank goodness you said best of 3.
best of 3.
Oh,
Let's go for another one.
Darius is looking on with his eyebrows raised a little bit, like.
This guy,
Also-
what the fuck?
Zeus might use a silent die on the roll depending on what it is. So I'll say that because I don't know if I need to say that before you.
I mean,
roll yours.
you get to see what the result is, but I don't think you get to know if it fails or succeeds, which is kind of what happens here. So just go ahead.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Also, like,
All right.
yeah, you cannot do it after he rolls.
Would you like to?
I'll do it because why not?
All right,
I'll use
'cause why
one
not?
to try that.
Listen,
Wow.
keep in mind they don't get consumed if they don't make an effect.
Oh,
No, that's definitely not what he
That's-
rolled.
you rolled a knocky one. Fuck.
Yeah, no, it succeeds. So if it wouldn't change anything, does it not get consumed? Or
It does
only if
not get
fails?
consumed if it doesn't affect. If it does not affect the outcome, it does not get
Okay, then it
consumed.
would not get consumed. You're good.
Gotcha. Fuck.
Well, down to the wire, always a story.
Of course, of course. I think, splitting a knife is quite fun. Maybe I'll go for that on this next one. He's going to use another. He wants to split a knife.
Wait, so that's a 12.
Yeah. Yeah. Wait. Huh?
Because, I mean, you're not adding your dex, right? It's just a flat d20.
Oh no, I'm using. Wait, is it not using dex? No, it's adding dex.
It's adding deck.
No, but I thought you guys were just doing d20.
No, I'm
It's
doing
on knife.
D20, and I'm just adding what his stats would be on top of it.
Oh, got you. Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah,
My bad.
he's doing his attack roll. Yeah.
Yeah.
You use the side eye, it doesn't make a difference. So he goes and sits back down. He's open book.
Amazing. Zeus is like, it's just so happy for winning because he just likes the idea of beating somebody and being like, and they sit back down and goes,
Just likes beating somebody. This
Mm.
character, by the way, reformed. Reformed,
Rifter
guys. Don't worry about it.
gives Zeus a high five as he comes back. By the way,
Zeus is going to do the up, high, down, low classic.
Oh, it's like when
points
your
at,
friend like gets a strike of bowling.
Yeah.
Right, okay, all right.
He points
Shit.
at Darius and Rifter and says, I saw your eyes light up on the first one. He must be rather good at it.
Well,
He's good.
quite amazing.
So,
Am I supposed to ask a question? I honestly wasn't even thinking of that.
if you want to, you can have somebody else. I'm not too opposed to any of you asking either. If I can ask any of you, any of you can ask me.
All right.
That's
Well,
true.
anybody else have questions?
I mean, I've got plenty, but you won it, so.
You go for it, Darius. I mean, I think, just you being able to see how great I am must fill you with such joy, and I'll give this one to you.
You renown yourself as someone who knows things as part of their profession. Where did they go?
As part of it being my profession, much of what I try to do is making sure that it's something I know. This is something that I can only say that I've heard rumors of. I have no definitive statements for it, but it's not like it's bupkis. Were you aware that before they all started disappearing, there was rumors of ascension or delays? I'd assume you'd know. The tethering with Nidhogg had gotten much weaker, but then it suddenly spurred up once again. Were you aware of that?
I was not. I've been away and severed myself.
Shortly after its spike, it lowered once again, and that's when everybody started moving out. It both makes sense to me in my own assumptions, as well as rumors from many others that there's been some form of ascension going on, or usurpation, or any number of other related things. If I had to bet or guess, it would be something like that.
Well, who next then?
What about the quiet
got-
one, as he points over to Struenhof?
Oh, okay.
Sure, I'll play a game. Not much to do here anyway.
What
Not much
stat
to
do you
study.
choose for your game?
Charisma would make the most sense.
All right, go for it. It was a 7 on his end, so you actually get it.
Oh,
Wow.
Hooray!
Dude, we
Big
all
Damn.
suck here, including the NPC. Everybody's shit at this.
I mean, hey, he rolled a 2.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying this makes it more fun.
Yeah.
So, on your travels, no doubt you've heard about us since you've recognized us coming in.
Well, except for him, as he points to Zeus.
So, what are some of the least spoke of rumors that you've heard about us?
I've heard that you've had and I've only heard this twice, so there must be some merit to it. I've heard that you've got a gargantuan beast that follows you and levels buildings and dissolves men with its mere sight. Is that true?
I'd like to rephrase anything useful that you might have heard just once or twice.
No, I can't. So you may ask again.
To answer that rumor,
The little magic thing dings, giving a signification that, like, yeah, that's an ask again moment.
Ask again moment.
well, to answer your question, it's not a gargantuan creature, but it has gotten rather large.
Where is he, anyways?
Good question.
He's it was decided to be unseemly to bring him into town.
No.
He's busy at the moment, but
You could always just summon him if you wanted to.
no, that would be unprofessional.
Unseemly, even as you put it.
Unslightly.
Uncooked.
Me setting up
Right.
Dhuugaan to be the villains in
Unbecoming.
season 2 just because they hate slimes.
Damn.
Damn.
Well, they use a lot of drywall in their construction, so
They do.
slimes are their
They do.
natural enemy.
The beast
Big
levels
issue.
buildings in its wake.
If I get the chance to show him to you in a less public place, I will.
I look forward to it greatly. But you still have a question.
Yes.
Something
Is there
useful
anywhere-
right now.
Is there anywhere around here we could take, jobs on the side? Maybe like a adventurers guild or a board
Not
where
quite.
people post requests.
Not quite as simple as the as a guild, but they're each of the 5 courts are always looking for a little bit of muscle. Some tasks are best done with loyalty and insiders, but given that each of you are from rather far away, if you simply put out the statement that you're from the north, often faraway mercenaries are better for dealing with nearby problems, and it eliminates the chance of loyalty. So if you're really looking for it, either the Court of Heaven or the Court of Earth, I've heard, have been looking for extra hands lately.
I'll make a mental note of it.
The Court of Heaven in particular, he's rather willing to pay quite handsomely.
That may
That's,
be something we need.
Yeah.
And last before, unless I'm always down for a second round of questions, but last for now, what about you, Dar? Do you fancy a game?
Wait, what do you know my name?
Have you not been listening? There's only
Okay.
one person I don't know, and it's his, and he points to Zeus.
My name is Clisby. Nice to meet you.
Pleasure, Clisby.
Let's be. Say your name.
I'm sorry, I forgot for a moment.
Don't make his job any easier.
Fair.
Anyways,
I'll wait for him to ask.
All right. What about game of Diddlebop?
Of what?
Diddlebop.
I'd have to... I've not heard of it. Please, enlighten me.
So he grabbed the board of dragon chess and he's like, "Dude, so this, do you know what this is?"
Okay.
Yeah. So this is so people call it dragon chess, I think. But in
Yeah.
reality, they're the Diddlebop bits. So with these bits, you gotta grab this other thing. What is this? Pain. What's this? Pain cards? Okay, so you stack them all on top of these useless things, and he grabs some books on the side. You gotta use the little bits, and he stacks them like on top of
He's
each other.
paying
so,
in
like,
a severe amount of attention. He's actually
Yeah, no, no.
tryharding this.
Yeah, I'm making this up, but this is probably something direct.
Okay.
So like, stack them right on top of each other, and he stacks like the dragon chest probably has like tiny dragons, tiny like knights, like really carefully on top of each other. He's like, and you have to knock down one of them without knocking down the other ones by throwing another piece at it.
Give me a dexterity and an intelligence.
I love
Okay.
this.
Yo.
It's not my worst. Not my best.
He does
Okay.
rather poorly at the dexterity section, but the fact that he compensated for a little bit means that ultimately, based on whatever arbitrary rule set that has been imposed, he ekes out the win just barely.
Oh, fuck.
Oh,
Literally,
So three-
based on the summations with my scores I gave him, it's by 2 points.
Oh my fucking god. Wait, was it best of 3 or just best of 1?
I'll say best of 1.
Dyer throws his thingy is somehow like to knock over, but probably the rules say that if you wobble the knight too much, that's a clear lose.
Yeah, classic
Yeah.
blunder, the wobbler knight.
Dude. The
What a
wobbling. I
shame.
also lost my leaning bonus. I forgot to lean.
Come on. Even I remember the leaning bonus. Come on now.
Fuck.
Hmm.
Where I'm from, we
Alright.
call it the paladin.
What's my
No,
pallet? What was my pallet ding dong bonus, dude?
You know
Shit.
what, Dyer? Come here, come here.
Yeah. Ah! He walks over.
Sit down. Tell me your deepest secret.
Ooh.
My deepest secret? Like the shape of my poop?
If that's what you think your deepest is, if you think it's not, then you tell a lie. The magic will ding and you'll have to try again.
I probably like the whole party. They've seen Dyer in like different situations. He probably is actually like, Dyer doesn't like. He's never been under a zone of truth. You know, he's not gonna. He's okay at lying.
It's
but he's
more
better
than
at
just a zone of truth.
just
It's
like
since y'all
No,
accepted
sorry.
into it, there's
I mean,
also
like-
like compulsion for it.
I mean, like in the past, but like right now, it's like okay. He has to like he can't just deflect, right? Because eventually he'll have to answer. So he says, "Can I just whisper it?"
Sure.
Okay, that's better. He comes up to him and he whispers, "Do I say it? Do I send it to DMs?"
Sure.
Oh. You can say it out loud. I love my brother. That's
Aww.
deepest, darkest secret.
So true.
Okay, he whispers something to the guy.
Pissed. Whisper.
The music or the little arcane glyph above Dyer's head glows a bright purple for just a second. It goes ding. Oh, come
What
on
does that
now.
mean?
Come on now. You can do better.
What? I just told you my deepest darkest secret. Unless you really knew that.
I think we all knew that, mate.
Dyer, what did you say?
Just said the thing.
What
I mean,
thing?
the whole thing where like whole reason I have to leave, the whole reason, what's his name? Chlamydia is here in Point of Zeus.
Clearly.
Clisby.
Let me.
Okay, what about? And then he like points in and just whispers.
Ding.
What?
Oh no.
Giving you free shit at this point.
Listen, I'm not the one who decides if it dings or not. You apparently there's something you don't want me to know.
I think I know why. Can I posit something? What if we have information that by divulging prevents you from ever learning more information again?
Hold on, Darius.
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
Redacted.
Dyer is
Dyer
going
says,
in and he like the compulsion takes
Right.
hold and he has to whisper something.
Oh, I have to?
He has to.
Oh fuck.
Dyer
Oh
says,
fuck. Oh
all right,
fuck.
what if?
Yeah. Doing 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 doing. Man starts dissolving.
What the fuck? Guys.
Man's has disappeared. Dyer, also in this moment, immediately after doing it and the guy disappearing, a few seconds go by. Go ahead. Dyer looks a little shook after whispering into his ear, and the man just beginning to disappear and disintegrate into the ether.
Says, I wouldn't have said that any other day. Like, he's just thinking.
I'm aware. It's not your fault.
Daya, if it makes you feel better, after I heard him say that you had to reveal your darkest secret, I was going to threaten him outside this bar afterwards and threaten to kill him if he shared it with anyone. So I would have put him in danger as well.
Hey, Rifter, give me a perception check real quick.
A what, real quick? I'm sorry.
Perception.
Perception. Okay. I love being
Zeus,
perception
give me one
guy.
as well.
I am John Perception Hammer.
Well, Zeus is not. Zeus is too busy gloating about how he would have killed the guy anyway. For him to notice that Dyer also has a little bit of sparkly going on right now. Parts of his horns around where his like silver hair meets his horn is sort of glowing and spectrally and sparkly.
That's my brain. That's not good.
Is it reminiscent of the same process?
It is.
We need to go. We need to go. We need to get.
Guys,
into the now.
I thought that if I drank the woobly goobly,
I thought so too. Darius
dimensional.
reaches into his bag, specifically looking for it, like the bone.
The oogly woogly.
It's starting to take a stronger effect, and about like a quarter. It's growing. It's up to about like an eighth of the way through him.
Wait, I take out an eighth. I take out my tarot card.
It keeps going. It keeps going, and then suddenly, at that point, the tarot card doesn't seem to work. It just falls on the ground. It's up to about like 2/8.
Darius is specifically trying to get the thing active, not really caring about consequences right now. He's trying to break the bone, like
Zeus is,
Yeah.
like in his hand.
Also
It is
goes
broken.
for it, and it's dissolving onto the ground, and the portal is being made.
Zeus is immediately jumping over the table and like
Get him
holding
next
his
to it
brother.
right now.
He's going to immediately
Alright,
start
next
pulling.
to the-
Lorik! He just yells across the tavern.
He's at 3/8, and suddenly it stops, and everything else starts to stop as well, except for each of the group of you. You're able to look around as you see the like the barkeep in the middle of pouring out one of his drinks as the beer is literally halfway frozen, flowing into it. You see some of the people who are eating their meals just with the forks in the air, just holding it partway through. The
What is a
plates
boat?
the plates on the table that Dyer just rushed over, floating, having been knocked away. The portal half formed and not anywhere near enough to actually establish the connection, as time everywhere has currently stopped for each of you.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!
Darius's breathing relaxes a little bit, but as the time stops, as he realizes what's going on and that he's not about to lose Dyer.
Dyer does,
What
in
happened?
fact, start to get undone. The particle effects stop applying to him, and his body returns in full force.
Okay.
What happened?
The game we were playing, forced compulsion, he asked what his deepest secret was.
I see us.
To guide us all.
And
As you look outside some of the windows, the currently light blue sky has very quickly, in the term of this time stop, has started to turn a bright orange, like a violent sunset. This was not
So-
something that happened any of the other times.
Something is happening now.
we need to go through.
It's stopped. It won't. It's not moving. We can't.
Wait, so am I just stuck here?
And now, assuming, at least until
There's a creaking of stone and wood overhead.
I assume
I
we're
think
about
we're
to
being
deal with
called.
something. Well, we don't really have much of a choice now, do we?
The roof of the tavern, with its stone and wooden bracing, starts to lift itself up into the sky and move out of the way, giving you clear view straight into the sky as there's just a swirling vortex of flame and light and cloud. An absolute arcane maelstrom just billowing overhead.
Wait, so Dyer's body did end up coming back, or it's just paused?
It has
halfway through?
it was returned to him.
Okay.
Let's see what we can find out about this maelstrom.
I assume it's going to come to us. At least everything else has so far.
As
At the very least, let's get out of this tavern before more happens to it.
Lorik takes a few steps forward, and the rest of the party does as well. When Rifter, you see in the corner of your eye as you're stepping forward, a glint of shimmering like shine. Just I think you know what I mean when I say it. Like the whole anime, like the star pulses in and twists, where it's like chwing.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. That comes. You see that in the corner of your eyes, and you're able to move out of the way as something's rushing straight forwards, and a chain latches on the Dyer's leg.
Dyer!
Who's giving my card?
Dyer's quickly going to,
ground, right?
or Rifter's quickly going to grab onto Dyer with all of his strength and try to hold on to him as he grabs on also to the table or anything near him to try to stabilize them as he's like,
Can I grab onto anything?
Darius tries to stabilize Rifter by going touching his chest to his back and grabbing where he's grabbing and grabbing where he's grabbing on Dyer as well.
Wait,
Just like
quick question actually. Rifter would have thought of this faster than I would. The chain, is it like a linked chain? If so, I want to stab a dagger in between one of the links onto the table.
Sure.
Okay.
Wait, where's my tarot card? Zeus, give me my tarot card. It's over there.
Zeus
It's
has
like over
also
here.
not stopped letting go of Dyer. If he notices that like this is wrapped around Dyer, he's just going to immediately like teleport them both out.
Another batch of chains come in, this time attaching to one of Dyer's other arms, and a few of them beginning to encircle the room.
Wait, Zeus!
I would have tried to teleport us towards the tarot card, so that
you
it could be
yourself
grabbed.
alone teleport. It does not pull him along.
Throw it.
I'm grabbing, tarot card and throwing it, and then jumping back over
Dyer,
again to
give
try
me
it.
dexterity
Throw
real
it back.
quick as you throw it back. Throw it
Get through
back,
my mouth.
Zeus.
throw it back, Zeus.
Zeus, give me a sleight of hand. Dyer, give me a dexterity.
Mouth roll. Lean bonus.
Lean bonus.
Or
As you throw it back, Dyer reaches out and he's about to grab it, and another chain comes in, stopping it just short as it goes flying across the room.
If my roll was higher, would he have grabbed it, or is it completely dependent on his
At
roll?
this point, it's too late. Either way.
Okay. Damn it. Okay.
Lorik is going to keep a firm grip on Dyer and basically try to keep him firmly rooted to the ground.
As the fourth chain connects to him, Dyer completely stops moving. At this time, he's still here, but he is frozen motionless. Not completely. His arms and feet, like from where the chains are connecting at his wrists and ankles, begins freezing in time. It's painless, but you have a few moments, Dyer, as like your arms are starting to freeze as it's crawling up your body.
what the fuck are you doing at this point?
You talk to the party is what you do.
I'm sorry.
What the piss
Oh
is
God,
going on?
those better not be his last words. You change that right now.
Lorik is trying
You
to
are
kind of
not scarring the party like that.
Do not apologize.
Okay,
Don't apologize. You're not going anywhere. Darius is like rambling, like justifying, like talking.
We're gonna
trying
get you
to make
out. We're gonna get you out.
Lorik is grabbed Temperance from his sheath as he tries to keep one hand on Dyer, and he's trying to hack away at one of the chains.
Go ahead and give me an attack roll.
Did not mean to have the underwater thing.
Yeah. It hits and does nothing. A series of 12 seemingly iron or otherwise metallic, almost chromatic bars fall down from the sky, encircling him. Lork gets everybody who's grabbing onto him gets shoved away as they land, but you can reach back through the bars to reach him.
I will do so.
I will. Well, I can't do anything. Fuck.
He's gonna try a 5th level dispel magic on this shit.
Go for it. Give me a roll.
Give me one moment to actually have the spell work. Okay, so ability check using my spell casting. All right, there we are. Motherfucker!
Ah, I
You
see.
get bunted backwards
Jesus.
as you try to do so. Like, you channel the magic, and the arcane safeguards in place ricochet you backwards. The music starts to get very intense as this happens. I wish my playlist was playing right now.
Dun.
Would Zeus know that if modifying Dyer's memory would help at all, or would Zeus
You have
not
no
know?
clue.
Okay, Zeus is going to.
Okay, try it.
I was going to say just. Yeah, I guess Zeus is just going to try it. He's going to use his modify memory scroll that he had gotten a few sessions back under the castle or under the stuff. Yes, on Dyer.
Does it have like a card?
I didn't make a card, but I can copy paste the text from.
It's okay. You do so. Dyer, you have 10 seconds. What would you like your words to be?
No.
Ah, fuck. Okay, well, Dyer says.
I'm gonna try and cast a dispel magic at 9th level.
Okay.
Oh, that.
Oh,
Just in case. I'm
How do
gonna
I
make him
roll
think of
that?
it.
You just click the charisma button over the stat, not a charisma save,
Okay.
just like over the stat thing.
8th level.
One of the
Oh my.
one of the chains starts to reek, and it bends, it pulls, it lets go for the briefest of moments as you channel almost all of your arcane will into it. It like pulls off from his arm. He's able to move his arm again for a moment, and Dyer, what are you doing? It's
10 seconds?
like your arm is freed momentarily as it's let go. It's your arm's still being pulled to it.
as
like
his
you can
arm
reach out to somebody.
I was gonna say, as that chain breaks off, Lork is gonna try and batter it again to keep it away from Dyer.
Dyer's gonna. Actually, I think I can do this, but can I just bring the card to my hand?
It's on the other side of the room.
Oh, for some reason I remember that you could like teleport to me or something. But okay, then he's just gonna grab onto. Apparently Zeus is next to him, so he's gonna just grab onto Zeus, and he's gonna just say, "Does Dyer feel like he only has like last couple seconds?"
Dyer feels like he's fading away.
Okay, all right. Then Dyer's just gonna say, "Lorik, you've been like a brother to me. Be nice. Most importantly, to yourself. Zeus, be nice to everybody else. And try to my friends. You're better than this. Rifter,
Halfway,
your job is done.
immediately
Your job is never
after Rifter, the chain finally wrests control back of itself, and it reaches down and pulls your arm back in place, pulling you out, splayed wide.
Darius.
But you continue.
Darius
The
is
reverse of Lorik. Be nice to yourself. Most importantly, be nice to other people. And Strunhoff, fucking get him.
You still go for the Rifter one? Like, did you finish the Rifter one?
Yeah, Rifter physically, his job is done, but you know he can set his new job. No, his job doesn't need to be done. Like he still has more to live for. That's what he's trying to say.
Lorik, give me the attack roll.
All right. I'm gonna use guided strike on this for the plus 10. 28 to hit.
Oh my god.
Roll me a second d20, just flat d20.
Oh shit. Motherfucker.
As you swing and strike, each of there's 3 glyphs on Temperance, right?
6 in total.
6. As you swing down, each of the 6 glyphs on each part of the sword break apart, and Temperance is shattered on the ground.
What the fuck?
Temperance is broken.
Lork looks on in horror.
The ground underneath shifts into metal, sealing the bottom of almost a bird cage as the top of the 12 points come together into the twirling into a clock. One final chain starts lowering down to grab it.
As Temperance shatters, I'm gonna take out the thing that Andromache gave me when we first talked to him, and just down the whole thing.
Which one was that?
The concentrated mana extract.
Okay.
And I'm gonna cast another Dispel Magic at 8th level.
Roll for it.
Oh my.
Even in this time stopped state, for a few seconds, even the chains and all of the progression of it stops moving. Nobody feels like they can move, but you can all look at each other. You can all speak. You try to take a few steps forward. You try to struggle. You try to pull on the chain or reach out at him or pull parts together or pin the chain, but nothing happens. You look at each other and you have a few moments to roleplay.
We can speak with each other still, right?
Yes.
What in the hells?
What the fuck?
Darius is basically hyperventilating at this point.
No.
His eyes kind of dart around. He looks around for a moment, and after like an enormous amount of silence, he's just screaming like the most incoherent he's ever sounded at like Lathander. He's my family. Save him. You're useless. You're all useless. Help him. Like just nonstop, like completely incoherent rambling.
I'm just gonna keep casting Dispel Magics at the highest level that I can.
Tyre, I'm sorry.
No. Lord, look at me. Look, Lord. Hey, this happens all the time.
No, it
You
doesn't.
guys just gotta keep on. Just because you lose one member doesn't mean.
I'm not losing you, Dyer.
You're not just a member, you're our family! I have lost too much to lose you now, bud. I promise we're gonna get you out, we're gonna do something!
The temporary time stop that Schoenhoff has initiated with his Dispel Magic is starting to unwind. You see as the chains are starting to pull on him again, and the freeze is starting to creep along him again as well.
Are there, like, in this cage that Dyer is in, are there still gaps to where, like, we can see through to him?
Yes. It's 12
just a
individual bars, each about an inch to half an inch thick or in diameter, and they're at about like a distance of 1.5 feet, kind of keeping Dyer mostly chained within it.
Zeus is just, as soon as he is able to move, and with just a face that just has like tears running down it, but other than that, like nearly just expressionless, or more like in a gasp, in just like, I'm not even going to use energy to try and speak, is just going to try and throw his soul blade so that he can make it within the cage with Dyer.
Okay.
Through the teleport.
Give me a roll.
Just
flat.
tackle? Flat roll? Okay.
You're in there right now hugging him. Darius, give me a religion.
Okay. Darius Black moment, but he is rambling, so.
Yeah. The tarot card should have worked at the moment it happened.
The last thing Lork can think to do before it's too late is to try and banish Dyer.
Oh, fuck.
As you reach forward and start to do so, there's a blazing flash of light, and everyone is sitting back where they previously were just before it. Temperance is all intact. The roof is on. Everything is as it was the moment the dude stopped was disintegrated. Time is flowing normally, the cheers of people behind just chatting on down.
Rifter shouts at the top of his lungs, stabbing into the table and just screaming in a fit of rage, shouting up to the sky, "I will murder you all! They took him from us!"
Each of you get a single line voice coming straight from Andromache, as it is I've been far too lenient with you too long. You need to learn your consequences.
I have toppled nobles and kings, and I will topple a god too if I have to!
You're not doing this alone, Rifter.
Darius
let's get out of town. I
Darius
think we need a
is
meeting.
no longer like incoherent. He's just totally stone, like almost empty, like just sitting there, just staring at the table. Without turning his head, he says, "Lorik, I'm taking Nidhogg's place. I'm getting him back."
As am I. I think we need a meeting with a certain someone.
Darius, how do we make this happen? What is the quickest way? How do we do this?
He's just sitting there, like he's processing fully, like hasn't moved, just breathing in and out.
She might still be able to do something for us, Darius. Take us to her.
The portal has fully formed, and it is spinning around with a single little tendril. The woman nearby points it and is like, "Oh, that's funny." But of course, it's not funny to any of you.
Darius stands up without a word, turns to it, and without a hesitance, just goes in, just like immediately.
Lork immediately follows.
Rifter falls.
Is Zeus too stunned to follow?
Zeus. Sorry, I was just trying to think of Zeus is going to follow, but in the most he is beyond, his mind is somewhere else. He's beyond broken by this, and he enters before it closes, of course. But
Sure enough.
After everyone else has jumped in, he stands up with the empty vial of the mana extract that Andromache gave him and just throws it to the side.
Hell yeah. Now, my question to you all is that where you want to stop the session, or do you want to continue it on site?
I kind of want to continue on site.
I want to continue.
Yeah, we haven't done that long.
Yeah, this has
Okay.
only been 2 hours so far, roughly. Well, less than that since we started late.
The pathway there as you travel through the portal is icky, but it's worth it. Nothing, the uncomfortability of it is inconsequential. You arrive back in the realm. She's currently handling a small piece of flesh, sort of petting it, sort of molding it. She turns around and, welcome. Glad to see you've returned. What can I do?
He's taken from us.
We're going to kill an icon.
Pardon? She looks back at
Andromache.
Darius.
Our brother was taken from us, and I will make a god bleed if I have to, so help me.
He took your loved one from you, and he took our loved one from us. There is no hesitancy now. There is no distrust. We are in the same position.
She swipes her hand over her face after putting down the creature. It scampers off. Her eyes glow bright red for a moment, and she looks at Schoonhoff.
As she looks over, he's already half done with the potion that he got given.
All right. She
When he's done, he places it on the table.
Consequences be damned. I'm going to teach that machine exactly what the name Delmarev means.
She shakes her head and she says, I wish I could say this was good, but obviously it's not. We're gonna get him back. Now tell me exactly what happened.
Time stopped. The sky turned a fiery orange. Chains lashed out at Dyer. We tried to dislodge them from him. I tried to dislodge them from him. And at the time, it seemed as though my sword shattered itself on them. And then he was caged, as though the bars of the cage were torn from the heavens themselves. And then he was gone. My sword was whole. And Andromache thought to lecture us about consequences.
She puts her 2 index fingers print to print and crosses the rest of her fingers over the other hand and puts both parts of the finger to her chin. She's contemplating. That complicates things.
Rifter's going to go ahead and
What I get... Go ahead.
At this point, Rifter is all in. He does not care anymore. Where is the vial?
You've already.
Didn't Rifter already drink it?
No, I never drank one.
Oh, shit.
Didn't you explicitly have one once?
Yeah, once Lork had one.
Once Lork had one.
Did I? I don't remember that. But
Rifter drinks it now. Either way.
All right, yeah, I'll drink it now.
Once when he had it, he has it.
Yeah. Well, since all of us have had it, we can all speak freely here. What that does, that is Hector's blood. And Andromache's sole and primary goal is not to harm Hector. All the other creatures here, all around you, the very realm we're in, the creatures that sometimes infest the other world and often patrol here, are also growths of him. What little remnants of my husband I can keep in a goal to hopefully get him back. Because it's the one thing that he can't fight.
Then
By giving it to you, he couldn't harm you. But it
Then how
seems
did he
he's
do that to
very
Dyer?
willing not to harm him. What that is him abducting him, forcing him to his plane. So wherever he is, that's where Dyer is. I don't think he'll do anything to harm him. He'll probably even take care of him if that's any consort. But
Is he where we were? I was. As he corrects himself, remembering that hate is no longer with us.
nah. She asks for a description, and upon confirmation, the answer is What's behind it, yes. When I tried to peer, that's his safeguard preventing people from accessing him. One of hundreds.
So what is he then?
He was Hector's sole protector. I know that Rifter hadn't been caught up. Do the rest of you want to tell them about what I've told you? I'm sure you'll be able to relate it to each other much better than I could.
Lorik, the first thing you're going to have to... The first hurdle you're going to have to get over is that they are dragons.
I already knew that.
I thought that was... Okay, whatever.
He did say, oh,
Cassandra
gilded
here
one in
was-
Draconic or whatever, and...
Cassandra was kind enough to confirm her nature to me.
Yeah, that was in something... Here's the thing. You're not wrong, Chad. Darius is wrong. Darius was not there for it.
And she was also kind enough to allay my fears that she and Hector were the Emperor and the Empress.
Honestly, I thought that would be harder for you to get over. Darius is explicitly a lot less expressive in his voice recently. Regardless. Can't be bothered. He just stops.
So how do we find him? How do we make him bleed?
If I had a simple answer for that, I don't think we'd be in this situation. I'd have tried to strike him long ago. What I've found is that I'll give you a basic from the beginning.
Alright.
Long ago, Hector was the god of change. He was there to make things so that time passed forward, that life evolved, that people grew and changed, and society moved forward. And he knew that he was burning himself out, so he created Andromache. He shifted and molded him as his foil, something to keep him on task, something to give him rigidity in life, to keep him from falling into corruption like he'd seen other gods around him do, or ways to keep himself on track and always do the right thing. But he made Andromache imperfect. The codes he distilled in him were not enough. She takes a deep sigh, and it's difficult for her to convey this properly, so you have a few seconds. She's contemplating how to say it. Andromache's goal was to make... His primary goal was to make sure no harm befell him. And the simplest way to do that was to put him in eternal stasis and isolate him from the rest of the multiverse. I obviously objected. It was just as good as death, and I know that he's capable enough that if I didn't do anything, that he might be lost forever. And I tried and I failed, and he castigated me, left me without most of my powers, banished me, but I was able to hide for a while, and through the help of others, eventually got a bit of him back. It was nice for a time, but he decayed outside of its presence. I talked to him, he changed and became the forest of the flesh all around us. She takes a deep gulp because it's difficult, very difficult to talk about. he told me it was okay, but it still doesn't feel like it all the time. But
I'm sorry.
the work of others like Daravar and Kendon and Sultan in particular, he helped us a great deal recently. As she looks to Struenhof, we've been able to try to find ways to keep him alive more than he would be, keep his influence going out into the world. And well, if as long as we keep change happening, the icon lives, and as long as the icon lives, he won't die. And so, as sorry as I am to say it, that's the reason for the destruction I caused, for the upheaval, for sponsoring the radicals, the crazy Prince Aeron, the changing under Chibalo and all the others that it's all to foster change so that he may still live.
Doesn't matter anymore.
So if we dispatch Andromache, then the need for all of that goes away.
Yeah.
Alright then.
And the problem is, when he castigated me, he banished me, he left me with only a fraction of my powers. I'm not... Even if I had the way to try to force even myself to get there, not only would I lose, I doubt I'd even be able to have the power strong enough to do it. Hell, even if I was a god again, I don't think I would. Maybe even... Even a god like the Thunder probably couldn't do it.
How many gods would it take?
She thinks over it for a second. I guess we'll have to find out, won't we?
You're already aware.
I know you've got yours, but what else?
I'm going to... Once I do ascend, my first move will not be to approach him. My first move will be to approach those that surround the rest of the Yuan-Ti, Seth in particular. Be it through duress, or violence, or talk, he will join my cause. He will join our cause.
And if they don't?
Then they will be destroyed.
He has had millions of years to prepare. He's older than most of the gods that any of you are familiar with. But
And if
perhaps
I sit
it's
and do
the
nothing,
youth that will happen when you ascend that might give you a chance. What about any of the rest of you?
Ascension is not a pathway open to me, but maybe there's a way for me to... I don't know if it's precedented, but borrow or invoke the power of one of the Highborns from years past.
What about becoming one yourself?
Darius
That path is not open to me.
Darius, for the first time, is actually looking directly at Lorik since the event.
That path is not open to me.
Why not? Or what about you? And she turns to Rifter. Surely you've noticed that death follows you where you go in a oh so literal sense. Surely he's been talking with you. Surely you've been in communique.
Something. I think perhaps maybe that was death. Has been talking to me, yeah. And I will do whatever it takes to bring him back. Do whatever I need to do. Make any bargain, make any price. Nothing is too high.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. And she moves through each of you to Struenhof. Or what about you? You've got the most of all of us, the most connection to him. Surely you feel like you could at least get in I don't know. Grasping for straws. And she just backs away.
I need answers.
I'll give the best I can.
Everything about Sultan. I've drank your potion. There should be no need to hold anything back now.
None at all. Sultan was investigating his research into ways to attain immortality without undeath, to attain life without change, and in doing so he inadvertently discovered parts of Andromache's foilings, of the entire eternality of Hector's existence when he appeared in the wrong way. He reached out trying to find something in its opposite, and I found him and I helped him and we fostered a relationship. He's figuring out how to word it. He understood the risk associated not just with doing the right thing, but also to everywhere else, that if Hector isn't returned in full, not only if Hector is not fully revived, the entirety of time will eventually just stop. Andromache grows closer with mastery every passing year. It may be now, it may be in centuries, and maybe tens of hundreds of thousands of years from now, but eventually he'll master it enough that everything would just stop and cease to be, and he understood that that was enough of a risk to risk his life for. And while ultimately Andromache took him from us, his life was able to get both that claw that you found as well as the blood we extracted from it to be able to try to give each of you the immunity that you had.
Is the claw from anyone significant?
It's Hector's. He managed to court his way with Andromache, abuse his trust, and when he was within the domain, managed to steal it. I have no idea how. He was only here for a few minutes before Andromache caught on, but it was enough to give us all a chance.
Then I've made a mistake.
Do you want the long or the short of it, Lork?
Whichever you think would work better in this case. I'm sorry for having to step out.
I'll say somebody else should do the short of it, because
Okay.
y'all will pick up on the important parts.
The short of it was describing how if Andromache isn't stopped, eventually all of time and all of change will stop entirely, and as well as Sultan, in his search for immortality without change, stumbled upon Andromache, gained Andromache's trust, and was able to steal the claw of Andromache, which ended up being
Hector.
of Hector, excuse me, and ended up bringing it to Cassandra and basically removed from existence, but he was able to get it, and that ended up being Sternov's necklace.
And also the blood that
Yeah, also the blood. The blood is from the claw.
If we're all good and dandy here, I have a question. I don't deal in gods or magic or anything of that higher caliber. I'm a simple man. I use simple means. But it seems that higher artillery is needed for this job. So, if there is a god of death, does it have a name? And does it accept bargains?
I haven't heard a name, but in some of my dealings, I've heard some speak of a Lord of Murder.
Excellent.
Not excellent. As I understand it, he has rather bloody cult.
Murder has many names, but the one who follows you has none, simply the god of death. Death is silent, death is its own thing. Death need not be referred to, it arrives when it chooses. And if it's taken a fancy to you, like I would hope it does, the next time you hear something from it, I suggest you abide by its wants. Be it either becoming a champion or a pariah or whatever it is it might be.
I'd be more than happy to become a champion. So, anybody hear some slightly unnerving voices in their heads, let them know. Rifter has come to play.
You were a god once yourself, right, Cassandra?
Yeah. Not fully, but I was his twin star burning in the sky. He was a god of change, and I was a god of changing things, and I was his half. It wasn't always that way, but once he ascended, I followed suit in it. Yes, I was, but those times are gone.
After your loss, you seem to have given up on yourself.
I understand that if I'm to do it, I have to do it through others. It's always been, even in my prime, I wasn't strong. My strength was in forming others and setting the world up so that others might do the right things, or that time may grow better. I was never able to exert the change myself. I just could change things to change, and
Every
now
time
it's
you
no
process
different.
that, it becomes more true. Every time you give up on yourself, you lose part of him. He is the god of change. What would he want you to do?
And
Stay
every
here.
time I help others, I enforce it all the same. My purpose, my oneness for all of time, and the way that I honor him, and that he will always be here, is by making things right by others. You have no means to lecture me on this.
I lecture you not. What I want is for you to be better. Not in the sense that you are not good already, but the fact that you could be more. I am in the search of being something more, and when I become more, I will become more again. For those around me, for those close. What I tell you isn't a lecture.
And what I tell you is not some defeatism, as you put it last time, or some suicidal impulse, or giving up. It is the way the icon of icons has established it. Once you have been demoted, once you have fallen from grace, once your godhood has been stripped from you and you've been left as a rag in the street, there is no recovering. It is impossible to be done. Ascension is arduous as it is, and it has made sure that if you make a mistake, you are unworthy of it ever again. This is the way it is.
And I find it's time to change that.
You can change a god, you can't change an icon.
If it stops existing in the minds of people, it's gone.
She holds her tongue in her breath.
But the icon of which she spoke was, as she put it, the icon of icons, the wellspring of divinity itself, presumably.
And if its faith does not exist, neither does it. If its knowledge does not exist, neither does it. How much of reality would you unravel to save him?
I can't well answer that.
He's not asking you.
Okay.
She's not answering either. She doesn't have words for it. I wish I could say that I'd burn down all the worlds for it, but I couldn't. It's not what he would want. Even if it was possible for me to reascend, you're right, I'm too weak-willed. I respect him too much to change. I have my boundaries. I'm doing what is right, and if I deviate from that, the entire spirit of our union and everything that we made is pointless, and I'm not willing to let that go. And if that's the cost of what it is, then that's what it has to be.
I think
Voice.
we rather understand each other very well in that regard, Cassandra. You asked me why the path to godhood was barred from me, and for me the answer is at least somewhat the same.
Well, then it sounds like it's up to someone other than y'all. And I'm down for it. I believe that, maybe I don't have an easy, clear-cut way. Maybe, it's a long shot, but I can tell you one thing. I have the will. That's the thing that's driven me more than anything else, is that I have an iron will.
You're not the only one, Richter. And when I say that the path to divinity is barred to me, I do not necessarily mean that the powers of divinity might be barred from me. There may be a way forward, but I will not subjugate my people to do so.
Even if that was the only way to save him. You're going to throw away the chance to save our brother just because you refuse to ascend?
My clan was built off the backs of people who refused to believe that there was only one way forward. Though one chose the path to godhood, there were countless others who, through will and perseverance and growth, threw off their shackles as well. There is not one way forward.
Oh, okay, so do tell me, how do you plan on doing this then?
I don't know yet.
Oh,
But
brilliant!
But there may yet be a way to, I don't know, commune with one of the former Highborns, borrow their power, something of the sort. I'm sure any of them would be more than happy to lend their strength to a cause such as throwing down a tyrant who would end time itself.
After shakes his head. I don't like it, I don't trust it, and I'll believe in it. If something's gonna be done, it's gotta be us. I can't rely on somebody else willfully doing the right thing. Last time I had to rely on someone else to do the right thing, I was enslaved. No. No, no, no. I will do this myself, and I will dethrone him, and I will send him to whatever hell exists for gods.
Last time you relied on someone else to do the right thing, Philip died.
I didn't rely
Last time you
on...
relied on someone else to do the right thing, we helped you escape from Soju Pen.
Relied on my friends, on my family. I don't trust some random god who's existed since time to do the right thing that he should have been doing from the very start.
The Highborn hasn't existed from the start, as I've... At the time, we weren't terribly good friends either.
Oh, then, question, how long has he been around?
The current one?
All...
Maybe 18 years.
Yeah, that's long enough. It don't take 18 years to figure out that a world like this needs someone to deal out death and justice.
If a god like Andromache is suppressing all knowledge that he exists, then yes.
Believe it. I don't believe it for a second. Something like him, he must know.
This is going nowhere. Cassandra, I understand your own decisions not to ascend. If not, then one thing instead. The last time I was here, you said you would think about ways you could help me ascend. I would like to know everything, every minor detail about he did, about how Hector did. I want to know every way, every forward motion, every thing he thought, everything he did, every person he replaced.
Okay.
This will not go wrong.
She gestures you over to follow her as she leads you away, leaving the rest of the four of you. Zeus, how are you taking all this? Zeus?
Hello.
Alright, any of the other three of you want to talk then?
Ultimately,
Schoonhoff, Lore, Crifter, the three of you can
You guys
go about?
continue arguing.
I can't burn down my people's legacy. I can't... If I forcibly dethrone Marivax and take his place, I would be yet another of the ilk of the forgotten executor. I would divide our people. I would divide my people, and they would destroy themselves. I will not condemn my people thrown from their home into a new world, thrown into an empire that they have claimed as their home. I will not condemn them to death to save one man. I will find another way.
Well, if you're comfortable with just letting him rot, then fine.
I'm not... Rifter, listen to yourself. I am not letting him rot.
Just seems like that.
Rifter, please.
Look, I know how your feelings on this are, but you know what the difference is between you and Mavax?
What?
That you're a good man, and you wouldn't stand by and watch the world crumble as you do nothing.
And that's why I'm going to find another way.
Well, I hope you find it fast. Or you find it at least in time to join the fight. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to become something far more powerful than I have ever dreamed of. I don't know how, I don't know what sort of bargain I'm gonna have to make, but you know, for him, I would pay any price, because I love him more than anything.
Just... please take care you don't lose yourself, Rifter.
Oh,
Don't become something you're not ready to become.
I'm more clear-headed and decisive than I've ever been. This is something I've always felt. I didn't choose a life of crime, a life of murder, of backstabbing, of stealing, because I just wanted to. I chose it because my loved ones were stolen from me. And yet again, my loved one has been stolen from me. Time and time again, men, things, and power must be dragged down because they cannot understand that I am the force that should be feared.
Then perhaps that's why we differ so much on this. You had loved ones taken away by forces beyond your grasp, whereas every time I've lost someone, it was because I did something wrong or because I failed to do something. I don't want to make the same mistake.
Rifter looks down at that. He has a very deterred face. He's been having a very furrowed, angry face this whole time. But this is the first thing that gives him pause. And he says, "That's something I don't think I could." Well, I guess you got me there. That's a bit out of my depth of field.
Out of the edge, you hear Darius almost like blood curdling, like something you've never heard, like from out of your vision, just like the worst sound you've ever heard emanate from him, like an unbearably agonizing scream.
Lork starts rushing over. Darius? Trying to find...
Yeah, as you turn the corner there, you see is half of her is just pitch black bone as flesh starts to pull back from Darius back onto her person, and you see as there's a little bit of blood draining out of blood is draining out of one of his ears, and she leans down and she's holding him tightly and sort of helping lift him back up and stabilize him back into being in proper state.
Lothair, we cannot hear you if you are talking.
Muted.
Oh.
Muted moment.
Muted moment.
Yeah, I didn't hear you.
We do. All the people on the stream
physically.
all the people on stream get to hear it a second time. It's okay.
Okay.
As you turn the corner, you see as half of Cassandra is still that sort of porcelain skin white, but the other half is pitch black darkened bone, completely eboned after the cruel expanse of long periods of time and decay. From the side with flesh, there are a few tendrils sticking out of her fingers which are slowly pulling their way back in and generally pushing along the rest of her body to reform it into the body you know for most of it. She had been standing over Darius, but she's now beginning to crouch down and help pick Darius up to lift him up and get him back into proper action. Darius is bleeding tremendously from one ear.
What in the hell did you do?
Reaching underneath him and lifting him up. She's not saying any words to you. She's just focusing on trying to make sure Darius is all right.
Lork is going to try and offer some lay on hands points to Darius to stem the bleeding at least a bit. It's going to give 50.
The blood hardens, and it only takes one.
Oh, okay.
Darius is mostly back within his own perception.
He's just heavily breathing.
Are you alright?
I don't know.
What did she do?
I can't express it. I don't. It was worse than anything. It was worth it, though.
What was worth it?
I know everything.
Like, between Hector and the gods?
He looks up at Cassandra. She shared everything with me. All that she knows, I now know.
She leans in to try to help give you a comforting hug, because she knows that it's a very complicated situation.
Regardless of what it was, it's over now. It has passed. Mostly.
She just gives a few gentle hushes and just take it easy. It'll take a few days for it to land in full, but that doesn't mean it's an easy transition. But take your time, don't stress yourself out too much over it, and you'll be fine.
It's a little bit odd, almost being in your head. He says with like a weird, like pained, like slight chuckle at the end of it.
Maybe you really can ascend if you can keep up an attitude like that.
I have to. Oh, if he can just take us whenever he whims. We don't have a lot of time.
So as you would know, Darius, because she doesn't need to tell you this, so you can just continue on that thought to the rest of the party. Andromache has three primary parts to him. The first, very robotic nature, right? The very foremost one is protect Hector from harm in like every capacity. That is the one that takes the utmost priority. The second is do the least harm possible in any given situation. So if you could do something that harms multiple people or harms less than multiple people, do the less than there's obviously a little bit of nuance there for like, am I going to slightly inconvenience 4 people or murder 1 innocent baby? All right.
Mhm.
There's obviously proper moral nuance there. And the third one is one of making sure to outwardly then do the right thing, just very generically in a make sure that whatever you do, you consider it carefully and that it's the best option. And so using that, it makes sense why he can't just completely obliterate everyone from existence and only chooses to do so sparingly.
Nonetheless, even with this being the case, we don't know what triggers any of these decisions that he makes in particular. He took Dyer because it was his directive, his option, but we don't know when he will then follow that line of thinking based on our actions to take another.
Can I correct you momentarily?
Yeah.
The last time the party said something about Hector to an outside group, after they got disappeared, Andromache said that you need to be much more careful with it. There will be no more warnings.
Yeah. Okay.
For sure.
Just letting you know.
Yeah. Makes sense then. So, what do we do now then? I'm still not sure what's going on at home, what's going on with my people.
You ascend. She turns around and looks at the other 4. Hopefully some of them do too. And hopefully you win. Well, no, you do win.
Yeah, there ain't no hope about that. We'll win.
Finally, a simple plan. I can follow that.
She
plane.
reaches down into the ground and it parts a little bit. But you already knew this. And she hands you a small, very simple, but almost perfectly sleek blade. It's about 6 inches in depth from hilt to tip. It's only about an inch or so wide from blade to blade. It's exceptionally thin, so thin that when you turn it sideways, the blade is not even visible, even though the hilt is. And she tells you that she scoured. Well, she doesn't tell you. She tells the rest of the people because you already know this. That she scoured dozens and dozens of old universes that have been already halted by Andromache. Like a bunch of the different planes that have already ceased their time, just trying to force a bubble of continuation to search through it. Until eventually she found the plane that was before Nidhogg. Perfectly preserved.
That makes
That's
our job
exactly what
easier.
we need. I'd ask you how you found it, but I already know.
And of course, Darius can tell that to the party when it becomes relevant later. So everybody knows.
Mm-hmm. We have our weapon.
Cassandra, while we are at least somewhat safe here, would you mind if I took some time separately to deliberate over something? Just
Please do.
away from the others and... Alright.
The only concern I need to provide you is that while time here is slowed compared to the normal realm we get extra here, it is not forever.
I should only need a few moments.
While he's doing that, Rifter is going to check on Zeus.
Question: is Darius's knowledge a static like upload? Like he got a picture and he has that image that he can refer to, or is it he's basically like he knows what she knows? Period.
Essentially think of it like your own knowledge, where it's one of those things where literally just it sometimes it might be foggy, but you go through and you're like, okay, yes, I remember this. Sometimes it is just, I did this morning, I know what it was. Right? But right now it's still a little weak, but over the course of a few days you're going to have refined it, and you're going to be able to better draw the line in accessing her memories that are permanently a part of you. Even if she were to disappear right now, you would still have all of them.
Okay. I am a book. I've become biography.
Rifter, when you walked over to Zeus, you see Zeus is just like still that kind of blank expression, and you can still see where like tears had run down from his eyes, and he's just kind of staring blankly into his arms. Is where his brother was. And he's like very quietly just like muttering things to himself.
Zeus. Rifter like snaps in front of his face.
He looks up.
Rifter gives him a look. He gives him a very pained, sad expression, and then he just gives him a hug. And he whispers, "We're gonna get him back. This is not the end."
Zeus is going to kind of like whisper back, and he's going to go, "We just go now. We know. We take the same path he did. We go where he is." And he's actually going to say this in Thieves' Cant, so he knows only Rifter can understand it.
Rifter says in Thieves' Cant, "What do you mean? That's an insane plan."
Doesn't matter, we go there, we get him back.
Rifter just gives him a nod. No. This is stealing before the intel drops. This is going in blind. This is not a plan. This is suicide.
We get him back.
I want him back too, but we can't go in before we've ascended. We will die. We are mortal men.
Rifter is just going to... Or, not Rifter. Well,
Rifter is.
Zeus is... Rifter is, as he is by you. Zeus is going to, like, just like his face grows, like, sterner and more mad, but in that, like, kind of just very, stoic way. And it's just going to kind of, he's going to break Thieves' Cant because he can no longer, like, focus on doing it. And he's just going to go, sorry, I'm a lot on my mind. He's not going to say that. He's going to go, why didn't you grab his card? When I missed, why didn't you grab his card and bring it to me so I could bring it to him?
I'm sorry, I was trying my best to stop the chains. I thought we could do something. After Temperance broke, I didn't know anything would work.
Well, then why don't we do something now, huh? Show that you're sorry to me, and let's go get him now.
Darius, hearing this, turns and
It's
faces.
still in Thieves' Cant, isn't it?
No, he
No,
said he
I
dropped
broke
it because he
Thieves'
couldn't
Cant.
focus
Yeah,
on it anymore.
I missed that. My bad.
He turns and looks at Zeus. He doesn't say anything yet, but he's just looking now.
Zeus, this is not what he would want us to do. He would want us to think smart, be better, be as he was.
Zeus is going to change his eye contact over to Darius as he sees Darius looking at him and be like, and you were supposed to protect him, and I trusted you were supposed to protect him, and you didn't. Why would I trust you? Why would I allow you all to try and protect him? I should have been more on guard. I can't trust anyone else to try and protect him. I try...
I'm sorry about that.
You're good. That's Zeus's anger within him.
True.
As a player, I would like to give information of like an insight type of thing.
Yeah.
Without like you guys needing to do an insight check because I want to. If that's okay. Zeus is normally trying to like hide, his kind of like, what is he thinking and stuff. If it's not obvious in ways, Zeus, these are all the things that Zeus is beating himself up over. Like he'll like say something and then like he'll like start pulling on his hair a little bit, or like start digging his nails into his own hand just to like get his frustrations out. And he just keeps like trying to jump from person to person to start like trying to blame someone else. And if there's a response you guys want to give, I just wanted to give that little bit.
Darius, as he's like jumping between blaming, he's going to stand there for a moment, kind of just staring, and completely unprompted, untelegraphed, midway through it, just straight up deck Zeus in the face.
Oh shit!
Go ahead and roll me an attack roll.
Holy
Oh, come on.
He's not gonna have much more stats. It's just his base armor because he's not expecting it.
Fuck, man, I'm gonna get Darius luck. I'm not gonna be able to do this shit, man.
I believe in you.
What is it? Plus 5, okay.
Clean contact.
It doesn't do any damage because I have a strength of -1, so. But
I hate you, Dad.
But it just because it doesn't do damage doesn't mean it doesn't fucking hurt.
Yeah.
Like and as after he's punched him, he kind of shakes his hand, looks at him and says, "You're an idiot when it comes to your brother."
He's going to fall. He's gonna get my wife's name out your fucking mouth. He's going to get up to just like try and tackle you. I think
He's not even gonna resist. Like if you want to tackle him and like get on top of him.
Yeah.
Whoa, hold on.
You're gonna get beside him, alright? He's going to go up. I don't know if this would be like a strength-based thing. But
At this point, both of you have committed to it. I'll say just run.
Zeus is going to start just trying to pounce on you and kind of like egg you on in ways of like, what? That's all a soon-to-be god can do to me.
Oh shit.
And he's going to keep on hitting away. He has a -1 in strength.
Yeah, we're not hurting each other. We're not physically like. Darius isn't resisting. He's like powering through, just continuing the dead stare into your eyes. I'm moving. Hey, he gets hit. Heaven and earth. He gets hit again to save him, and he gets hit again. And you want to kill yourself.
At that, he's just going to kind of. Like, after putting all his effort he can into these punches, just kind of, like, go limp. And just roll off and fall to, like, lay onto the ground. And just look up. And he's just going to be in that state, at least until Cassandra comes back.
While we're both laying on the ground next to each other, Darius is going to speak up. We're both weak. We're both powerless. we both couldn't do anything. How about you join me and make sure that it never happens again?
Zeus is going to kind of turn his head to just kind of look you in the eyes and just more tears kind of like stream down his face at this point of like all of this going on. And he's just going to give as much of a silent nod as he can, just to be like, I'm like, how would you communicate this much physically? But it just like, with the narrowness of his eyes, you can sense that he's still not okay with everyone. But one thing is for sure, that he will get his brother back. And he recognizes his weakness, at least for this moment.
I'm going to find any ledge I can grab onto, any foothold I can find, and I'm going to scale this cliff face. Find a cliff of your own, and don't let go. Keep climbing it until your fingers go numb, until they fall off, and then keep climbing with your mouth, with your teeth. And when you reach the top, you'll have enough power to speak. And there'll be another cliff that you'll have to climb. And there will always be another one. But every single time you climb it, every time you lose a part of yourself, you'll get closer to getting him back.
Zeus
Go
is
find
going.
a cliff.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's just gonna finish it with go find a cliff. Start climbing.
Zeus is going to sit up and look at you and say, "No god, no icon, let none be stronger than you." And then he's going to look to Rifter. He's going to go, "Let no being harness more wrath than us." And he's going to look over at Struenhof. He's going to go, "Well, let's kill him."
He just nods.
Hey, Zeus.
Yeah.
Would you mind going ahead and giving me a religion check real quick?
Certainly.
Giga roll, giga roll, giga roll.
Giga roll. Yo, a plus
Giga
3.
roll.
Let's see how this goes.
Super
Okay, not terrible.
Okay.
No, before he says the result.
Oh, I would like to use my sonic die to up it. Thank you.
Okay.
Base?
Continue.
Base?
Oh, yeah.
The die is not used.
Damn. It was worth trying.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's how Zeus.
That's the voice inside Zeus's head.
Yeah.
Angie!
Good news is you guys won't have to deal with that next week. I'm gonna be home.
You know, I'll go into a little bit more detail for a moment. There's a little bit of a flustering inside you, Zeus, as you finish giving out those little dedications to each of them. There's a moment where your heart, like, rather than burning as an inferno, as the rage and the disappointment and the fear and everything is spiraling around within you. For the briefest moment, there's a spark, as instead of an inferno, it's combustion, and you just feel your spirit is, for the briefest moment, liberated before it disappears and is back to that inferno, that rage.
Gotcha. Zeus will take mental note of this. or study later of his own mind.
Is it alright if Lork does his thing real quick?
Yeah, go for it. I think we're done for now with the.
After getting a good 50 feet or so away from everyone else, Lork kind of looks up, looks down, shuffles awkwardly, and eventually sits down, setting Temperance in front of himself. And slowly, after clearing his throat, he begins to speak. Prayer does not come easily to me, though now that I know your true nature, I suppose it is only appropriate for what I ask, despite all that you taught our people. Tanya, Ash and Blood incarnate, I beseech you. Marek, the Arbiter, I beseech you. Vindictus, the Resolute, I beseech you. Kore, the Gentle Soul, I beseech you. All who have borne the mantle of Highborn in days past, all you who have decided to pass your mantle, your hope, to the next generation, I beseech you. Though I know not your reasons for concealing your nature, faced with an impossible dilemma, I beseech you. I would ask that you stand beside me as I carry our clan's legacy forward into a new era, as I offer my all to end the iron grip of a tyrant who would doom our people, our world, those I love, and those they love. Kore, I ask that you guide my companions with your compassion and keep them from losing themselves. Vindictus, I ask that you grant me the strength of arms to strike down the foes ahead of us. Marek, I ask that you grant me the will to see this through to its end. Tanya, I ask that you grant me the virtue to fell this foul icon and save our world from its clawing hands, as you saved our people from the claws of Deimos. Please, guide my blade. Please. And for a while, he just sits there feeling emotionally drained by the experience and by everything that happened before.
Maybe it's real, maybe it's just hope. But at least you feel like something heard you, that there's hope on the horizon. And that maybe you'll reach it, or maybe it'll reach you. And at least that's comforting, invigorating, any number of things, but it's important, is what it is.
After all that, I guess. How long would you say that took you, Lord?
It probably took him a good 5 minutes to muster up the courage to actually
Ask his gods. Or his...
Acknowledging that they were gods in the first place.
Yeah,
and that they were his
basically.
gods.
Hey, what's up, guys? I know I haven't prayed to you in a while, but
Well, it's more like his people haven't ever prayed to them because they weren't really allowed to acknowledge that they were gods.
Oh, I see. Okay, well, yikes.
Gods fucking suck. Anyway, I'm gonna be a god now.
I get Rifter's gonna go ahead and check up on him just to see what's going on.
Alorc's gonna be back at his spot, up in the upper right corner.
Yeah, and he's just gonna, rub the back of his head. He takes off his hood actually for this, and he says, "Hey, buddy, how's it going?"
I don't know. I did something I never thought I would before.
And that would be...
Do you mind if I tell you a story?
Not at all. I love stories.
You remember me telling you about the first Highborn, yes? How she found some power within herself and liberated our people from Deimos, and how they made it to this world, right?
I remember something to that effect, yeah.
And you remember how my people have a long tradition of denying divinities because they see them as, frankly, capricious beings who have no interest other than their own at their heart, right?
That I do remember.
Since learning that the Highborn is a god, I've struggled to reconcile that with myself. I've often asked myself why their true nature has been kept a secret all these years. Why devotion to the Highborn is effectively mandatory in much the same way that the dragons who created us would have us be little zealots of the Empress, for instance.
Seems a bit counterproductive to not like gods, but then, submit to another god. Yeah.
My stance about the living Highborn has not changed. I intend either for Merrivax to be the last, or at some point for us to still have a living Highborn, but with our people free to know what the Highborn is, and to worship at their own discretion. I took the plunge. I came to the altar of those Highborns past, and I have, childish as it sounds, offered my first true prayer, and I don't know how to feel.
Can I tell you a story?
Absolutely, Rifter. And Lork pats the ground next to him, since he's still kind of sitting there.
He sits next to him, and he lays down and he says, dear old mum, always teaching me about things about my culture, things I ought to know as one of the Kinku, one of the bird people. Yeah, you know how it is.
We all have our legacy.
Indeed. Well, my people do have a deity, a thing, if you will.
They do.
Yeah. He's not exactly something that many people pray to in a traditional sense. Mostly just, my people, certain sects, certain things. It's part of the culture, really. But, his name is Quarrelin. And I don't pray him. Not out of spite towards the gods, mostly just because it never did anything. It never changed anything. Life was still miserable. We still lived as slaves. Mum was still trying, tearing her hearts out, her hair out, her feathers out, trying to, make something of me. Trying to make a better future, and it never changed anything, so I stopped. And through all this, I guess I wonder, now that I know more about how this all works, perhaps that's why he was never able to change anything in the first place. Because I didn't believe that something could happen. That I wasn't willing to have any sort of faith in a better way, in a new way. Instead, I just trusted to myself. And I guess this is a long-about way of saying, maybe you're right. Maybe things need to be done a different way. I'm still gonna do things my way, of course. I'm still gonna, try my best, but I guess, despite what I said back there, I understand why you're doing and thinking what you think. It's scary to not know what the future holds.
I don't blame you for what you said, Richter. I understand every bit of your rage, your fear. In a way, my people are what I am, and I can't sacrifice them. I can't sacrifice what I am to do this, or there isn't even a reason to do it in the first place.
I understand. You can't compromise on your beliefs just for this. I want it to be different. I guess, like I said, the future's scary, and the fact that we don't really have a plan other than just become a god. Oh, if it were only that simple. So, the fact that we're not taking every avenue that seems immediately expedient, because out of all of us, yeah, it just seems like you have the best pipeline, as it were. But
at best, it would last a short time, and given what we know of gods, if the faith wasn't there, then neither would the godhood. And if I divided and destroyed my people by forcibly taking the mantle of Highborn, the faith wouldn't be there.
No, you're right. I was pulling a Zeus back there.
It's alright, Rifter.
Yeah. I don't know if you heard, or if you were able to, or whatever, but yeah. Zeus is mad at us, and I guess I can't say I blame him.
Nor I. For the longest time, I've called Dyer a brother of mine, and I failed him.
We all did, buddy. We all did.
suppose that's why I've decided to take this path, at least trying in some way to as self-aggrandizing as it sounds, follow the path of our first highborn, finding that power at its source, and finding a way to bring about something new. You know, I felt something for the briefest moment while I was praying. Sorry, it still sounds weird to say. But as soon as I felt it, it was gone. So, I think at least something noticed, but obviously one prayer doesn't fix anything on its own. So hopefully I find some signs at some point. Hopefully the path forward is illuminated.
You said you felt something. Do you mind if I ask you to put it into words?
It was the briefest moment of a warm light, and it was one of those things that you don't notice is there, but when you start to notice it, it's gone, like a dream.
I think I'm familiar with the feeling. I don't know what you call that, but I get it.
Alright. I don't suppose either of us are too familiar with the whims of the gods.
No, I don't suppose we are.
I guess I've got a lot to learn if I'm going to actually exercise the freedom that Highborn Tanya won for us and freely worship.
I think... I don't know. I guess I don't think.
Careful, that's gotten us both into trouble a few times in the past.
A few times.
Well, it's gotten us out of trouble a few times as well.
Yeah. When all's said and done, you and I both know that nothing's gonna keep us from getting it back. And I guess no matter how we choose to go about it, I can always trust that you'll be there at the end.
Ever and always.
Rifter gives him a little fist bump.
Lork just gives him a big hug.
Aww.
Possibly crushes him a little bit.
Oh yeah, okay. Alright, lovely.
Apologies. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's
all good.
Let's get back to the others and make sure that Zeus and Darius aren't tearing each other apart again.
Speaking of, hey Zeus, hey Darius, what have you and also Shunov been doing?
I'm pretty sure we're still laying on the ground next to each other, kind of pretty beaten up by each other.
I think if like kind of enough time passes for him to like kind of like calm down, I think he would also ideally start like trying to talk strategy as much as possible, even though there's possibly little like to go off of maybe, but he's going to start trying to strategize with Darius and Shunov.
An incomplete plan is better than no plan. Shunov?
I was just watching over them, make sure they didn't kill each other after.
Yeah, probably was.
Yeah, that's good.
My -2 fists. Look, they've been getting stronger throughout this fight. All right, -1 fist.
Anyway, the party has returned together.
So Rifter told me that I missed quite the, yeah.
It's done and past. Now all we can do is move on.
Aye.
There are a few things we do not have that we must before we face any of the gods. Namely,
Right.
both Nidhogg and Andromache. We need a way to shield ourselves from their vision, some sort of blessing, a way for us to remain out of sight. A Nidhogg, we must learn that which they wish unlearned. We must know that which they wish unknown.
Then,
We still don't have a way to hurt Andromache yet.
yet. Perhaps by, well, overthrowing the Lord of Dreams, something forgotten may yet reveal itself in that regard.
Ironically enough, the information, the knowledge wished unknown we have for Andromache. But I know not what it is that Nidhogg wishes hidden.
Well, if you knew that, we wouldn't have to find it out. I think we should cut our stay in Dhuugaan short. We should get on the road as soon as we can. We can't afford to waste more time.
I don't know if that's wise, Lorik. I need time to acclimate with what just happened to my mind.
Alright.
I need time to think about, or I guess at this point it's remember. It's odd to feel. At this point I have to remember the things that we need to do. Where we need to move, how we need to go about it.
Alright.
And I understand that nothing I'm going to say will ever move you on this. But I want you to know that you would have made an incredible highborn.
And maybe one day I will. But not by force. Not at the cost of my people.
He nods. Well, who knows, maybe your entire race one day will have an epiphany. Maybe it'll arrive to them in their dreams about a new champion, the new next in line for the highborn.
Maybe. At the very least, I do. When this is all said and done, I will do what I can to make them aware of the Highborn's true nature, so that they will finally have the choice to freely worship or not.
Rifter. He suddenly changes his attention as if something has epiphanied on him. Rifter?
Oh,
Where is he? Yeah, there you are. As he's clearly slightly out of it, as he's like, as his mind is still adjusting to stuff. I remembered, or I learned, or I don't know what to call it at this point. It's not clear yet, but I know for certain that I know of a way to get you in contact, or related to a god that can assist in whatever it is that you need.
Rifter's eyes go wide.
Well, after a little more time, I might be able to remember more of it. It's My head still hurts, I'm not sure, but I know that it is there, the information. I just need time.
What exactly, if you don't mind, did you have in mind?
Honestly, it's what Cassandra had in mind. I know everything she knows now, so once I give my mind some time to adjust to it, I should be able to essentially have as much knowledge as a god does.
Meaning you would know how to get in contact with other gods.
And potentially gain the favor of some, yes. For now. I don't, because I can't. It's fuzzy. You know when there are times that you know you went somewhere, you know you experienced something, but everything is fuzzy and you can't remember it. It's not there, but you know it's there.
Like waking up after a dream.
Yes, it's slowly clearing, but I'm going to need a lot of time.
Take your time, but it's hard for me to say that, given the circumstances.
I am aware, but it's better than nothing.
Why?
Nonetheless, I'm going to try and focus on, at least for now, what might be the information I need to take down Nidhogg, and what might be the best way to get you in contact with something that can grant you greater power.
Rifter looks down at his tarot card, and he just kind of flips it. Death. It's gonna be odd talking to him.
Who knows, Rifter? I've never seen you one to be a slave. Maybe someday you'll usurp a throne too.
Rifter beams at that, and he says, yeah. Well, first things first, out of all of us, you definitely have the most willing and obvious route, so I guess we work on you first, then me, then anybody else.
It might not happen soon, Rifter, but even gods become tired of their pose sometime. It's not always a bloody battle to take over godhood.
I just can't even imagine that level of responsibility.
Well, when you have nigh unlimited power, it doesn't feel like that much responsibility. Just part of what you do. It's so much responsibility for you to need to eat every day, isn't it? For you to breathe, for you to think.
I guess when you put it like that, yeah. But I mean, personally, if I never had to eat, that'd be pretty cool.
Well, that is one thing you would take off. Nonetheless, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's focus on one thing at a time.
Aye. When it comes to, you know, the big boy, the snake, what do we even do?
Well, there's a couple things. First off, we are going to need the cube that we found in the Volstrom Manor. The spell that it casts is important in allowing us to reach their plane, or bring them to our plane. The weapon that Cassandra has given us is vital. Well, the main thing is there are, and forgive me, I don't know all of the specifics yet. I know the vague concepts. I will know more about it later. There are 7 main things you need to fulfill to kill a god.
7? That's way too much.
Some of them are inherent. The first one is just denouncing the god and announcing that you will kill them. So, the last one, the 7th one, is having killed them, so There are 5 main ones, some of which are inherent in going against a god, such as sacrilege, reducing their influence among their followers, finding a weapon that is able to harm them. The big one that we don't have that I was speaking of earlier is, at least for Nidhogg, the forgotten knowledge that they wish to hide.
Forgotten knowledge. Is that... I guess I know you mentioned it, but what does it refer to? Unless that's also forgotten.
We don't know. For Andromache, it's the existence of Hector. You see how militantly he protects everything surrounding that.
Yes. So it's something about Nidhogg that we don't know that is key to his purpose. At least if it's analogous to Hector.
If my suspicions are correct, my best lead is going to be with my people, the Unchained. Those
That-
who speak to me in my dreams.
Would make sense. Okay. Alright, so that's step 1. We find the Unchained.
We don't really know how much damage or what the genies did to Nidhogg to stop them from exhibiting their influence for however long they did, but we do know that it was enough for large change to happen in the kingdoms. So, I think we continue on with what we're doing, but with newfound knowledge and determination.
I would agree with that, yeah.
Lorik, what is your
Yes.
plan forward? Calling upon something greater? Becoming something greater? Following something greater?
I was talking about it with Rifter, but as strange as it sounds, I've actually acknowledged the divinity of the previous Highborns, and I'm seeking a path forward to hopefully at least mirror Highborn Tanya's original ascension.
And I hope it goes as you plan. Strunhoff, have you still interest in becoming a lich?
I was hoping to finish Sultan's research that would specifically avoid lichdom, or at least the drawbacks of it.
Well, good news, Darius. You now know a lot of it. She and Sultan talked quite a lot about their research.
Fortunately for you, I actually, as a result of inheriting her memories, I don't remember a lot of it yet, but like I said, as time progresses, I might. I do know of his research. Anything that you might have lost by his disappearance, I likely have. It might not be so unattainable.
We should discuss it some other time then.
Indeed. And if the means only become accessible after I have ascended, I will make sure to impart all of it in your dreams.
Appreciate it. And he would too.
It's the most I can do. It's the least I can do. Excuse me. And you, Zeus? Do you have any ideas of the cliff that you plan to climb?
I am not quite sure at the moment, but I had felt the feeling in my determination that perhaps will bear fruit. And of course, I am open to any suggestions. Keep training is currently my idea.
Indeed. Well, I hope whatever it is ends up working out. Because what has become clear is no matter how powerful we have gotten, it is not enough. And I want you all to know that at least now, even though I plan on becoming a god, that is not where I plan to stop. What I want to do is, at this point, unravel this whole cursed system. What I spoke to about Cassandra was not some argumentative folly. It may make me greedy, it may make me a glutton, but I will seek more power, more change. The fact that this happened in the first place begets a broken system.
Just please take care that in seeking more power, you don't lose yourself in the swirling vortex you create. Don't lose sight of the reason. Don't lose sight of everything that's led you to this point.
I will always keep it in my mind, but I cannot promise you that I will be the same. I cannot promise you that I won't be altered by my state, by my search. I'm sure you're aware, but I care very little for myself. But the change that I can bring, that is something that can change lives, change fate.
And the change that you bring is ultimately determined by who you are once you have the ability to bring about that change. If you lose yourself, you will not bring about the change that you want.
We'll have to see. We should move on.
Alright. Be right back. I'm gonna go commit a hate crime.
Enjoy.
Hey, Darius.
Based?
Hey, DC.
Would you mind DC? And
I
you
say JC.
Yeah, I was about to say DC. That's like a mix of the two things you probably meant to say. Would you mind going ahead and rolling me a flat D20?
You got it, boss.
Look, I'm
3,
sure
2,
we're past
1.
the worst of it. What's
So true.
what's the
better than
worst
I
that could
rolled
happen?
almost every other roll in this campaign.
As you're talking about, we should probably get going. There's a little bit of thrumming behind the back of your ears, which is normally where you would be to detect the flesh that was around, which obviously had already been active for a while. But it starts to thrum a little louder, a little brighter, and you feel as you sort of just manifest in the floor around you a portal back into the other area through the flesh. Not hers on your behalf, but one that you've made.
Well, that's convenient, I guess. Shall we?
Unless anybody has anything else, it'll set us back in the other scene.
No objections.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Before they all leave, Darius will be the last one to go through, considering it's his portal and he doesn't know how, whether or not it'll close if he goes through it.
Jumps through, Rifter follows immediately afterwards and gets vivisected.
Before he goes through his last hole, he is going to look at Cassandra and say, "They will both be back, Dyer and Hector."
She just nods her head a little.
and then he hops through.
This time, it's still very recognizably, you know, one of the flesh tunnels. But this time, it's a lot darker. It's less bright red, more of a crimson, dark red, a
Burgundy.
blunted red. The walls are smoother, and more of the chaos is in it being turbulent on a path rather than the walls being changing. There's a few points where it shifts and it twists and it goes backwards for a moment, and there's confusion on what the path is, but the walls around are never. The flesh is not changing there, and it acts as a mirror for which you find your way back to where you were. The girl hobgoblin goes, "Look, see, I told you," and everybody looks back and is like, "They're still there." Ugh. No, listen, I'm telling you, the fucking jump, man. You need to go lighter on that.
Me? Oh, yeah, I see what you mean.
No, he's talking to the NPC about
Yeah.
being drunk and.
Yeah, that's fair.
Anyway, the party may continue until this scene is over, and then we will call the game. Call the session.
I don't know how we should go about actually paying for an in-room.
I've got things to sell. We can go do a job, move some cargo, do something. We're powerful enough to find work here.
I'd be happy to move some cargo.
We could check with the Court of Heavens. We could check with
Court of Heavens and Earth, he said.
I also heard about the Court of Man essentially being in charge of all the bureaucracy here, and Court of Stone. Supposedly, the processing that happened for our ship when we got into port was the Court of Sea. I doubt they'd have much work for us.
Right now, it's just something simple. Just enough to make sure we have enough food and rooms.
Hey, Lork.
Bank.
Yes.
On that note, part of your thing about Court of Seas is that as you're talking about having come in, you realize that, hey, they're with the pirates handling all of the bureaucracy of getting stuff set up. That also means that they've probably been selling the wares that they looted. Which means that you guys will have a supply of some coin for a brief time.
Ah, that's good.
Excuse me, script.
Well, since our allies likely sold some of what they brought here to the Court of Sea directly, we probably could ask for some court script in exchange for the aid we offered with that sea monster.
Sure.
That would probably get us through tonight at least. I'll go take care of that, see if I can offer any help to the Court of Earth with hauling some cargo. Get us a little bit extra.
I can also see how much this gets. And he's going to pull out the golden statue he had gotten while helping pillage on the ship.
So true.
Let's see here. So he's looking through his bag.
If the party's doing those two things, it will be more than enough for a while.
Mm-hmm. Hey, just curious. Refreshing my brain on the fucking enormous golden gauntlet that I stole from the Maelstrom's man.
Yes.
Was that magical or was that mundane?
It is magical.
Okay.
It is something that you also wear for a bonus effect. The specific kind, since you I believe either I told you or you had it analyzed. Either way,
Yes.
when you're wearing it and you kill a target, you gain a portion of their health gets turned into money.
True. Okay. Okay.
For me, at least, I am all emotioned out. Richter is ready to get on the beginnings of this journey and find these fucking snake people.
Yeah.
Well,
I,
we're 3/4 of the way through the journey to the snake people, my man.
Yeah.
I'm aware of that. I'm saying he is ready to actually get to the snake people.
I see. Very well. Does anybody else have anything else they'd like to do to close the session out? Any closing words?
If no one else has anything else, I'll wait for pause.
I can't think of anything on my end.
Gotcha.
I'm kind of emotioned out.
You good? When Zeus goes to sell the statue, or like, he's going to look for somewhere that's like kind of pawn shoppy, and he's going to, with a little bit of the money, or at least money that he just has, he is going to buy some sort of like child's toy, which, because he remembers that he owes a gift from this area to a young girl who shares the same name as his brother. And in thinking of him, was going to do that.
Oh man.
Heartbreak.
Fuck, man. We couldn't save Dyer because he didn't have his wooden coin on him.
Oh, true. Also, Zeus is going to try and find Dyer's tarot card.
Yeah.
Oh shit, yeah.
As the party's walking out, there's a thought for a moment that one of you pick it up, but at the end of the day, all of you pick it up and vow to move forward. You're gonna get it back to him.
Remind me, which tarot card does Dyer have?
The Fool.
The Fool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd suit him.
The Fool.
Surprising how much they fit, considering how none of them were scripted.
Yeah,
What was
I know.
Darius's
Right?
again?
The Emperor.
Yeah.
Wait, and what's Lorik's? Now I'm like, wait.
I think you know.
What is the name of his sword?
Temperance. I don't know enough about tarot cards to make this.
Temperance.
Literally temperance.
It's literally just temperance. I didn't
Yeah,
know.
he just rolled it. It was like 1 in 19 at that point, and he just rolled it. Like, I genuinely got spooked because all the tarots just lined up. I'm like, what the fuck?
Well,
Listen,
what do you know?
Maybe those astrology girls have a point.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Richter goes up to Lorik. So what's your sign?
Listen, Rifter can't ask me that until he gets a ring in his nose.
Darius walks up to Rifter and says, "All right, hey Darius, hey Rifter, what, Rifter, what continent are we on? What do you mean by that? I have an OnlyFans."
God damn it.
Listen, Darius's card teleports him to the boss room. Dyer's card teleports him to the first room of the floor. Rifter's card does 40 damage to all enemies in the room. Lorik's card summons a blood donation machine. Let's see. What other cards were drawn, JC? What'd you say?
Yeah, Wheel of Fortune was
Wheel of Fortune. You spawn a I think it's a fucking slot machine.
I can pull it up real quick. This also means we should probably get Zeus a tarot card, unless.
What if Zeus literally inherits Dyer's card?
Yeah, I was about to say.
No, Dyer's not dead. Fuck you.
Well, they can share it when he gets back.
No.
Mom said it's my turn with the Fool.
True.
Going there just
Lyra
to kill
would
him
say
just for
that.
taking the card.
We go back to the Changeling capital just to ask Lyra if Zeus can have a turn with the Fool.
Alright, let's see.
I mean, I think it'd be poggers if Dyer, not Dyer, if Zeus pulled Judgment.
That would
Yeah, I can see that. So the Fool was pulled by Dyer in the wand configuration. Temperance was pulled by Lorik in the coin. Emperor was Darius with coin. Death was Rifter with sword. Moon was Zell with sword. Hierophant was Decius with sword. Empress was Hate with wand. Hey, Empress and Emperor, look at that.
Hey,
So true, and we were the ones that got whisked away.
Yeah, you were the two highly enlightened one for a moment. Wheel of Fortune was golden in the wand configuration, and Strength was Aquila with cup.
oh,
So
only one
Aquila-
person with cups?
Yep.
Aquila gets all stats up and a size up for one room. Decius spawns 2 soul hearts.
Yeah, she got to rage twice a day without downsides.
I'm going to spoil the mystery for you and tell you that the Hierophant gives you 2 soul hearts.
If we're all done here, I have work tomorrow, so I need to head
fair.
pretty by.
Then I will go ahead and close out the stream and say that I greatly enjoyed this session and that I am ever excited and ever vigilant to see what else the party will be able to produce in this wonderful cooperative storytelling.
Ditto.
And that it's going to be wonderful, and I hope that all of us get to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very well.
Peace.
Good night, tri-state area.
Good night,
True.
Tri-State Area.